Good afternoon po and welcome to the afternoon session of our 2021 Division in Service Training beginning today March 15 up to March 19, 2020. We are now in the, we are now down to the afternoon sessions. But before that, may I request all the participants to please write down their names and their schools and comment on the comment section of the YouTube channel. And Sir Rick, i-award po natin ngayong hapon ang first honor po natin na nag-comment. Yan. We're gonna give you a certificate po as the early bird. Ma'am Cheryl May de Guzman. Good afternoon po. Yes po. Of course, si Ma'am Abby, calling the attention of Ma'am Abby, ang atin pong naunang nag-comment for this afternoon session ay walang iba kundi si Ma'am Cheryl May de Guzman, from Rizal National High School. Ang second po natin ay si Sir Jojo Ramirez from Patul National High School. Third, we have Sir Greg Martin Dominia of Sinili Integrated School. So for beginning today hanggang bukas po, we are going to award recognitions and certificates and various awards sa atin pong mga participants sa 2021 Division in Service Training. So to start our second session this afternoon, allow me to introduce our speaker. Our second speaker is a seasoned educator and an advocate of continual improvement in the realm of educational governance. We are truly blessed to have him this afternoon despite his busy schedule. He's here to discuss the policy framework on basic education monitoring and evaluation, one of the hardworking and brilliant supervisors in the Quality Assurance Division of DepEd Regional Office Number 2. Let us welcome with a virtual applause, Sir Ronnie Giloy. Hi sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Okay na? Nakikita na yung yung slide?
Yes sir, good afternoon po.
Sir Martin, nakikita na yung slide?
Yan sir, nakikita na po.
Naka-ano siya? Naka-slideshow?
Yes sir, naka-slideshow po.
Okay na,
Yes, sir.
pwede na mag-start?
Yes sir, you may start na po.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Sir Martil, for the introduction to the two pilots of SDO Santiago City bound to SCTEX, Dr. Cherry, our superintendent, and Dr. Jonathan, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent. To the two chiefs, Ma'am Janet and Ma'am Fidel, to all these education program supervisors of SDO Santiago City, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. So, the term monitoring and evaluation is not new to all of you. Palagi na natin itong ginagawa. So, from the monitoring and evaluation, pagkalasin natin yung dalawang word na yan, when we say monitoring, It helps to improve day-to-day activity. Parang minomonitor mo yung mga ginagawa mo. And when we say evaluation, it is the endpoint of a certain activity. Pagkatapos ng isang araw, ini-evaluate mo kung ano yung ginawa mo. So that is, I think, the simplest on how to differentiate monitoring and evaluation. Ang dami nating paraan on how to conduct monitoring and evaluation. In every division, in every region, in every schools, there are many ways to implement monitoring and evaluation. But the Department of Education came up with a policy framework on the basic education monitoring and evaluation. So this is ito po yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon about the policy framework of the BMAF. So as you can see, the flow of our direction is a bottom-up goals from macro goal. It can go up, down to implement outcomes and impact. And so monitoring and evaluation plays a crucial roles in all of these as to organizational outcome, organizational goal, sectoral goal, societal goal, and global educational goal. DepEd strategic direction for 2017 to 2022 that by 2022, DepEd is a modern, professional, proactive, nimble, trusted, and nurturing institution delivering quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating K-12 education, enabling our learners to be a nation-loving, resilient, and competent lifelong learners. And it is anchored to our department's 10-point agenda for quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating education. And this is due next year. If you are going to see the whole picture, having milestone from 2017 up to present, where are we now? What we have monitored, evaluated, and assessed. Now, this 10-point agenda is geared toward our PDP goal. When you say PDP goal, the word PDP means Philippine Development Plan for 2017 to 2022. Same time frame with our organizational outcome or strategic direction of our department, in which it is for lifelong learning opportunities for all, reducing inequalities in human development. With this, we have the ambition natin 2040. The Philippines shall be a country where all citizens are free from hunger and poverty, have equal opportunities, enabled by fair and just society that is governed with order and unity. And ultimately, our global education goal, which is the SDG, or Sustainable Development Goals, which ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. This is the international goals of the DepEd, that all learners can do the task competitively with global demands. Thus, 21st century skills have been developed. So the rationale of the basic or the BMAF, that is the National Evaluation Policy Framework of the Philippines. So this is the NEDA-DBM Joint Memorandum Circular. It is a framework to guide the purposive conduct of evaluation in the public sector in support of good governance, transparency, accountability, and evidence-based decision-making in public sector programs and projects and activities. This is the background with legal basis for the implementation of monitoring and evaluation in our department. This is also the reason why we have the M&E framework, M&E plans, and its implementation. So the outline of my presentations includes the scope and objective of the Basic Education Monitoring and Evaluation Framework, the BMAF guiding principles, the BMAF framework and its indicators, the BMAF relative to office function and the basic education plan, the M&E standard core processes, and ito po yung pinaka-importante, the M&E roles and responsibilities per governance level. Ano yung ating mga responsibilidad bawat lahat tayo na nasa DepEd. Okay. So, the scope of the M&E policy. As you can see, the policy on basic education monitoring and evaluation framework shall be adopted and implemented by all DepEd operating units in all governance level. It identifies DepEd operating units with M&E functions and articulates the M&E processes that shall be performed at each governance level. So, wala pong exempted sa BMAF. Lahat tayo, all operating units. So, hindi lang si Quality Assurance Division, hindi lang si SMMNE, pero lahat tayo na nasa DepEd. So, lahat ng mga gumagawa ng mga work plan, lahat ng mga gumagastos ng pera ng gobyerno, lahat tayo, we will adopt and implement the BMAF later on. The objectives of the BMAF. So, the BMAF sets the performance measure for the agency where all operating units are expected to contribute. It shall also define the roles and responsibilities of the DepEd operating units in the M&E system and processes. So, BMAF formally established the M&E system in the Department of Education, sets the performance measures. Most importantly, is the role and responsibilities of all the operating units in the M&E system and processes. So we have the guiding principles of the Basic Education Monitoring and Evaluation Framework. Ito po yung ating mga binabalikan habang kung tayo nag-monitor, anytime we implement monitoring and evaluation, kung baga ito yung pangkabuang checklist or our anchor in doing monitoring and evaluation. We have 7 guiding principles of monitoring and evaluation applied in our department for its purpose. The first one is improved governance. Results of the monitoring and evaluation will become the basis for continual improvement, policy making, decision making, and judgment for goals set by DepEd. All our efforts should be contributing towards improved governance. If not, there is a problem with our implementation. So it should be all our efforts should be will contribute to the attainment of the improved governance. Second one is development oriented. So yan po yung pangalawa nating principle, guiding principle. The monitoring and evaluation will lead to the development of our department's PPAs, yung program, projects, and activities. And the resources like human development, materials, etc. will lead to the achievement of our goals. So the results are inputs toward development, and it should not be, pag sinabi kasi natin, nandiyan na naman yung mga nagmo-monitor. Kung baga, ang tingin natin is nandiyan na naman yung tumitingin ng ating pagkakamali. But it should be, our perspective should be how to improve the implementation. We are conducting monitoring and evaluation because the result of the M&E should be the basis for continual improvement. The third principle is undertaken ethically. The monitoring and evaluation will give a balance and just judgment for the achievement of efforts and implementation of all plans based to standard. So, dapat wala kang kinikilingan pag ikaw ang nagmo-monitor. No conflict of interest, conduct monitoring and evaluation objectively, neutrally, and then you have to follow design. So that is undertaken ethically. The next is utilization oriented. Utilization oriented is this is the utilization of the monitoring and evaluation results. So you have to utilize the result. The conduct of the monitoring and evaluation is not only for gathering data. Kung minsan kasi pag nag-monitor na kayo, nag-submit na kayo ng report, wala na. So saan na, anong ginawa ninyo sa result? Saan nyo ginamit? So as I've said, it is not only for gathering data, interpreting and analyzing data. So you gather data, you analyze the data, but you have to utilize the result for the attainment of outcomes and goal. So pagkatapos na submit ng report, kung minsan, wala na, parang another, mag-design na naman kayo ng another M&E plan. So, ang pinaka-importante dito, you have to gather data, analyze the data, and you have to utilize the data. Next is methodologically sound and appropriate. So ito rin yung isa sa ating mga guiding principle that monitoring and evaluation has methodological soundness with indicators of quality. So dapat ang ginagamit nating mga indicators, it should be SMART indicators as a way of measuring the result, usefulness, and accuracy. So you have to deploy the template appropriately. Okay? So dapat appropriate yung mga ginagamit nating mga template. So that is the number 5 guiding principle of the BMAF. Another guiding principle is the operationally effective. Paano natin magiging effective ang ating monitoring and evaluation? So monitoring evaluation here is for efficiency of operation on the level of governance. Through monitoring and evaluation, we can see numerous practices, best practices of activities, PPAs that would best applied to all in developing better result in the next cycle of the M&E. So that is, we have also to consider the cause, you consider situation. Kagaya ngayon, meron tayong pandemya. So, paano magiging operational ang ating M&E system? And the last one is shared responsibility. Ito yung pinaka-importante. Monitoring and evaluation here is a responsibility of all. Hindi lang si Quality Assurance Division, hindi lang si SMME, hindi lang si SGOD, pero lahat tayo. It is not only for a certain office, but so with the program owners. All the functional division, unit, section, lahat tayo lahat tayo na nasa DepEd. In all governance level, from CO down to schools. This means that everyone has a self-monitoring on the progress of his own program. So, kung meron kang programa, project, at activity, ikaw mismo na program owner, dapat meron kang M&E system. Okay? You have to, meron kang interventions and others. Okay? So, those are the guiding principles of the basic education monitoring and evaluation framework. So we have the planning and framework of the M&E. So makikita natin, goal. If you can see, all Filipinos are able to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to building a cohesive nation. So hindi lang DepEd, no? Not only DepEd, but all other sectors, including our parents, inline agencies, have responsibility to achieve our goal. And then, our outcome, kita din natin na hindi lang din DepEd. Kung baga, ang DepEd lang dito yung driver sa ating outcomes, sa intermediate outcomes and enabling environment. M&E framework is the same with the planning since monitoring and evaluation is anchored with the formulated plan. Okay? So, what is the intermediate outcome? So, nakita natin kanina, balikan natin ito, yung framework. So, the outcomes, meron tayong intermediate outcomes and the enabling environment. So, the IO number 1 or the intermediate outcome number 1, learners are in school and learning centers. So, ensure that all learners, regardless of sex, religion, geography, financial disposition, have access to and are encouraged to attend schools and learning centers. So, kung halimbawa yung bata, hindi pumasok sa school, hindi lang kasalanan ng parent, hindi lang kasalanan ng teacher, kundi marami pong mananagot dyan. So, we will ensure that all Filipino learners have access or encouraged to attend schools attend to schools. The second intermediate outcomes, the learners access programs responsive to their needs and consistent with their interests and aptitude. So meron ba siyang natututunan, no, pagpasok niya ng school? So we have to ensure that learners' needs, interests, and aptitudes are taken into consideration in the development and implementation of the department's policies and programs. And then the intermediate outcomes number 3, learners actively participate in learner-friendly environment. So kanina, we will ensure that all Filipino learners have access in education. And then dito naman sa number 3, we will ensure that schools and learning centers are learner-friendly and encourage active participation. Conducive for learning ba yung ating mga learning centers? Meron bang actively participating pa yung mga estudyante natin? Consistent with its mission to provide child-friendly, gender-sensitive, safe, and motivating environment. So yun po yung intermediate outcomes number 3. And then number 4, ensure that programs and initiatives aim to ensure learners benefit from their completion of the basic education cycle. So yung 1 to 3, mayroon siyang access sa ating mga school, pumapasok sa school, safe bang ating mga school, meron ba siyang natututunan sa ating mga sa school, and then natatapos ba niya yung cycle of the basic education. Kaya nga meron tayong mga KPIs dito natin monitor, like completion rate, meron tayong national achievement rate, cohort survival rate. So, yan po yung ating intermediate outcomes. And then, enabling environment. Number 1, education leaders and managers practice participative and inclusive management process. So, it ensured that design and implementation of professional development program are relevant and appropriate to the required skills and competencies. Number 2, investments in basic education provides learners with ideal learning environment. So balikan natin yung intermediate outcomes natin. Ensure sufficient provision and equitable distribution of education resources. So, lahat ba ng mga school na equally distributed yung mga resources? It also recognizes the gaps and immediate measures that need to be considered in prioritizing resources in the midst of competing education priorities to achieve equity and impact. And the third one, people, internal systems, and processes serve learners better through continuous improvement efforts. So, enhance people capacity. Capacitated ba yung mga teachers natin? Our leaders, mga school heads, internal system and processes are efficient and effective in delivering basic education services. That is number 3. And number 4, key stakeholders actively collaborate to serve learners better. So, properly position ba ating mga stakeholders? No, maximize ba natin yung mga ating mga school stakeholders? So, we have to ensure their collaborative engagement with the key stakeholders to achieve basic education goals. So, that is those are the enabling environment. So, we have the agency performance indicators. So, ang focus lang natin dito are, since nasa division at saka schools yung ating mga participants, so ang titignan natin yung are the indicators under division SDO and schools. So first is the gross enrollment rate. So that is under IO number 1. Learners are in school and learning centers. So the description of our indicator, percentage of the total enrollment in a given level of education regardless of age to the total population which according to the national regulation should be enrolled at this level. So dapat meron naman yung in every grade level ano yung angkop na edad. So dapat naka-enroll yung ating mga learners. So the data source, makikita natin yan sa SDO, the SDOD, and sa school naman, sa school head, yung data natin. Okay? Another is the net enrollment rate. So percentage of enrollment rate in the school age range to the total population of the age range. Okay? So data source natin is the SDO. Under SDO is the SDOD. And then sa school naman, hawak-hawak yan ng school head. Another indicators for IO number 2, learners access programs responsive to their needs and consistent with their interests and aptitudes. So our indicators there is the percentage of learners enrolled in special programs. So again, the data source under SDO is the SGOD and then the school head. Another performance indicator is the percentage of senior high school enrollment aligned to NCAA result. So makikita the data source, we have the SGOD and the school head. For the intermediate outcome number 3, learners actively participates in a learner-friendly environment. Ito yung tinatawag nating cohort survival rate. So nakikita natin yan sa SGOD. Transition rate, nakikita rin natin sa SGOD. School leavers rate, makikita natin sa SGOD. Repetition rate, again, the data source sa SGOD. And then completion rate sa SGOD rin. Promotion of learners performing at mastered level, makikita natin yan. Ang data source is the CID. Promotion rate, the SGOD. Graduation rate, SGOD. Of course, lahat ng mga data na ito, makikita rin sa school level, nandun din sa school head. And then, ALS completion rate. Saan natin makikita? The data source are the CID and the school head. The ALS NME passers rate, CID and the school head. where the proportion of the schools at SBM level 3 or the highly proficient. So the data source is the SDOD and the school head. For the enabling environment number 2, proportion of schools with ideal pupil, student to classroom ratio. So sa SGOD and the school head. Proportion of schools with the ideal pupil student to teacher ratio. Sa SGOD din at saka sa school head. Proportion of schools with ideal water sanitation or the WATSAN sa SGOD and the school head. Okay? For enabling environment number 2, makikita rin natin yan, the proportion of school with the ideal learning materials to learn.
Hello, Sir Ronnie. Hindi po naririnig yung audio niya, sir. Okay, I think medyo nagkaroon ng technical difficulty si Sir Ronnie. While waiting for him to come back sa ating session, greet muna po tayo ng mga nandito sa ating nanonood, nakatutok sa ating second session ng ating day 1 ng 2021 Division in-Service Training. So, would like to congratulate our first comer kanina, early bird. Again, si Ma'am Cheryl May de Guzman ng Rizal National High School. Congratulations po. Please claim your certificate kay Ma'am Dr. Abigail Pichelo. And there are more awards, surprise awards, and recognition that we're gonna give for the duration of our in-service training. So watch out po for those awards. On the spot po yung mga iba. Of course, we also would like to recognize and of course greet lahat po ng mga school heads po na nakatutok po sa ating 2021 Division in Service Training. And of course, we are joined here sa ating pong StreamYard by our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Cherry Salarzon Ramos, and Sir Jonathan A. Fronda, our ASDS. Our education program supervisors, our unit heads in the division office are also nakatutok po sila sa ating in-service training ngayon. And sa lahat po ng teachers na nanonood and nakikiparticipate sa ating 2021 Division in-Service Training, welcome po. I see Kabulay High School, Region 2. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon din po. I see Sir Robert Rusya. Shipri Buka of Sagana National High School. Ma'am Hazel J. Asis from Rosario National High School. Ma'am Emerita Mawirat from Rosario. Ma'am Elsie Grace Batara. Thank you, ma'am, for tuning in. Of course, our able school head ng Patol Elementary School, Ma'am Leonora Tuason. Thank you, ma'am, for tuning in. Of course, I see here Ma'am Simeona Daloran of Santiago West Central School. Check ng attendance eh. And meron din po tayo dito may tingin pa ako ng mga school head eh. Aha. Ayun. Si Ma'am Ate Kylie Corpus ng Santiago City National High School. Thank you, Ma'am Ate, for tuning in. Sir Jay Villarenas ng Santiago City National High School. Parang nandito si Sir James Bryan. Andun nata siya. Nag-comment na siya. Sir Nap Pisho of Rizal National High School. And so while waiting po for Sir Ronnie Giloy, Sir David Baldos, greet muna po ako. Sir David Baldos, hi po sa lahat ng mga nasa platform na ito ngayon. And from the teachers natin sa Santiago City National High School, thank you for tuning in po. Sa mga kaguruan din po natin ng Patong National High School, thank you for watching. Ayun. Shout out po sa lahat ng teachers ng Rizal National High School, especially to our ever dearest inspiring OIC, Sir Estelito Balatan Jr., PhD. May pa-heart-heart pa si Sir Nap. Ayun, Ma'am Amelia Vergonia from San Andres Elementary School. Ma'am Jinky Kabugaw, ang butihing may bahay ng ating ITO from Patol Elementary School. Thank you, ma'am, for tuning in. Uy, Sir Randy Mina from Divisoria High School. Multitasking po tayo. I see Nabuan Elementary School. Good afternoon po sa faculty, staff ng Nabuan Elementary School. Sir Christian Esteban. Nandito ata si Sir Christian. Present po siya dito sa MPH. Ma'am Edita Blas. Okay, so yes, Ma'am Leonora Toason, present din daw po lahat ng mga teachers ng Patol Elementary School. Sir J.R. Mabalot ng Divisoria Elementary School. Ma'am Ichure ng Sinsayon National High School. Hello ma'am, and sa lahat ng faculty, teaching staff po ng Sinsayon. Ma'am Elizabeth Mamakalay ng Caloocan Elementary School. Hello ma'am. Ma'am Phoebe naka-work from home daw siya. Dapat ba sir nandito siya sa MPH pero naka-work from home daw siya, nakatutok pa rin siya sa ating in-service training 2021. Sir Johnny Lalas ng San Isidro Integrated School. Hello sir. Si Sir Ian nandito ata siya. Ma'am Nori Del Gabanes. Happy inset and happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ma'am Naomi Ruth Handok. May bumati pa nga ng birthday. All the way from Santa Rosa Elementary School, Ma'am Jennifer Costales. Dito talaga sila nag-usap. Thank you, Ma'am Naomi. Ma'am Virginia Ichon, Ma'am Jackie Eugenio. Hi, Ma'am Jackie from Santiago City National High School. Okay, so meron po kasing technical difficulty. Ito po yung mga untoward na mga nangyayari, especially sa online. Ma'am Dolores from Sinsayo Elementary School, hello po. Baka may nakalimutan po akong i-greet. Ma'am Ruby Castro, sorry, nakita ko yung pangalan ni Ma'am. From Patol National High School. Ma'am Marilu Buizon, Sagan Elementary School. At sa faculty ng Kabulay National High School, may nakita po ako kanina dito. And may mga new comments po. Sir Romero from Santiago City National High School. Ma'am Jonalyn Martin from Sinsayon na ba siya? Sinsayon Elementary School. Ma'am Wilma Zamora from Patong National. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am Aleli Valeriano, Kabulay High School. Ma'am Odita Cambod, present daw siya. Hello, ma'am. So just a recap, kanina pong umaga natapos na po natin ang session with Ma'am SDS on cultivating and nurturing the teaching community. Diniscuss po dito ni Ma'am yung mga important points of view and mga lessons na pwede nating magamit, especially in the 21st century education. We are now down to the basic education monitoring and evaluation with Sir Ronnie Giloy, and we still have 2 topics to finish this afternoon with a very, very special guest this afternoon. So, jam-pack po ang ating in-service training. Sa day 1 pa lang po, and this is mag-span po hanggang March 19, which is the last day po ng ating in-service training. I think Sir Ronnie is now here. Hi, sir. Welcome back.
Hello, Sir Mark. Nakikita nyo? Okay na?
Yes, sir. Nakikita na po. Again, may I give the screen to our education supervisor in the Quality Assurance Division, Sir Ronnie Giloy.
Okay. So, sorry po. Hindi nakayanan ng aking laptop kasi hindi ko na-anticipate na yung StreamYard pala mabigat. Marami kasi akong nakabukas na mga application. So, nasa na tayo ulit? So, nandun tayo sa Agency Performance Indicator under Enabling Environment, number 2. investment in basic education provides learners with ideal learning environment. Our performance indicator there is the proportion of schools with ideal learning materials to learners ratio. So the data source, the CID, and the school head. The proportion of schools with functional library. So again, we have the CID and the school head. Kasi yung library kasi meron tayong LRMDS. We have proportion of schools with ideal pupil students to seat ratio. So the SGOD and the school head. We have the proportion of schools with ideal ICT package or the e-classroom package to sections ratio. So the ICT unit, that is we have the ICT unit as a data source and the school head. Proportion of schools with the internet access. Of course, ano yan, sa ICT natin makikita yung data. And of course, the school head. And the proportion of schools with connection to electricity. Again, ICT unit and the school head. And then interquartile ratio, that is the SGOD. Then proportion of offices across governance levels with very satisfactory rating in the office performance commitment form or the OPCR. So nakikita natin yan sa SGOD and the school head. Disbursement rate. So the finance unit. Proportion of bidding completed on the first cycle of the process. So the admin unit and the school head. Timely delivery of procured projects. So admin and the school head. Client satisfactory rating of DepEd offices, respective stakeholders. So we have the SGOD and the school head. Proportion of teachers meeting the PPST career stage 3 in all domains. So SGOD and the school head. And then all DepEd operating units produce plans and adjustments compliant to DepEd planning and the M&E standard. So of course we have the SGOD and the school head. Proportion of policies compliant with the policy development process sa ano lang yan, sa central office. And then we have the special education fund or the SEP utilization rate. So the OSDS. Proportion of schools with functional school governing council, the SGOD and the school head. So those are the performance indicators. Bakit ko pinakita yan? Kasi dito natin, makikita natin yung data source kung saan kayo mag-gather ng mga data. Kasi dapat malaman natin ito para alam natin maximize natin yung time natin, hindi masayang yung mga time natin na kumbaga mali pala yung pinagkukunan natin ng mga data with the different indicators. Okay, so we have the M&E cycle. So makikita natin dyan, we have the before implementation, comprises on the preparation for the monitoring and evaluation. Ano-ano yung mga kailangan natin bago tayo mag-monitor. Most especially, kailangan natin magplano bago tayo mag-implement ng ating M&E. Kailangan natin yung mga logistic. We have to prepare all the requirements standard for the target. Our target to monitor different PPAs. Example, L&D program. We have our evaluation of the plan. So, kailangan hindi yung, punta na tayo mag-monitor. Wala pa kayong M&E plan. So, you have to prepare before you implement monitoring and evaluation. And then, during implementation, ano naman yan? It's the conduct of the monitoring and evaluation during the actual implementation of the plan. Example, the L&D implementation. So, meron tayong training. We will monitor the L&D program. So, sa before implementation, dapat magkaroon tayo ng DSAW, magkaroon tayo ng plan on how to monitor the L&D program. And then during implementation, during the training or the L&D program, we will deploy our template, no, in order to gather data. And then after implementation, we have to monitor the impact of the intervention, the progress of what had done after the program. So, ano yung mga dapat na mga intervention para mas maganda yung susunod na programa. Okay? So, all these cycle are implemented with M&E tools. So, before implementation, during implementation, after implementation, kailangan natin, we have to deploy M&E tools in accordance to the standards, and different methods and strategies are applied in all the cycles in context to RO, SDO, and schools. Kaya nga, pag maalala yung guiding principles doon, nung may consider the appropriate tools to in monitoring. So, on the implementation of monitoring and evaluation can be done in two ways. So, kagaya ngayon, merong pandemya. So, paano tayo mag-monitor? So, hindi na ba pwedeng mag-monitor kasi merong pandemic, bawal pumasok sa mga lugar. So, there are two ways. Pag pag normal, meron tayong on-site or the face-to-face monitoring and evaluation. Pero pag ganito na merong pandemya, we can utilize remote monitoring and evaluation. Pag sinabi nating remote, pwede kang gumamit ng online, pwede kang gumamit ng pwedeng tumawag, cellphone, basta maiwasan natin yung risk. Kung halimbawa, hindi pa kailangan yung on-site or the face-to-face monitoring and evaluation. Okay? So, we have the monitoring and evaluation of basic education plans. So, related yung sa present ko kanina about my previous slide. So, there are two phases before and during and after implementation. So, before implementation, gaya ng sinabi ko, meron tayong strategic plan, okay, investment planning, and then operational planning. And then during and after implementation, ito na yung progress monitoring, readiness monitoring, and results evaluation. And meron tayo yung pinaka-importante dyan is the process evaluation. Process evaluation, kailangan natin yan before and after. Okay? Okay, the monitoring and monitoring of the basic education plans. So meron tayong four core processes. We have the purpose and the scope, data collection and management, and then the data analysis, information dissemination, and reporting and the utilization. Okay. So, actually, in the basic education monitoring and evaluation, there are four processes. We undergo training. Ang katatapos lang namin yung phase 1, that is the purpose and scope, last month. And then, we are planning to roll out or cascade our training. Mapalad nga kayo at kayo yung unang participant namin sa phase 1 ng basic education monitoring and evaluation. So, before you monitor certain project programs, you have to dapat meron kang purpose and you have to know the scope of the program. Our purpose and scope, this is the reference point of the monitoring and evaluation system. Guiding key decisions such as informational needs, methodological approaches, capacity building, and allocation of resources. Monitoring and evaluation plan is very important. Okay? So, mamaya ipapakita ko yung mga template na ginawa ko in each core processes. Nag-hyperlink ako kaya lang hindi pala applicable ng hyperlink dito sa platform na ginamit natin. Okay? Next is data collection and management. So this is a collection or gathering of relevant data to be managed or analyzed. What is crucial here is if the monitoring and evaluation is up to gathering and collection of data only. After this, nothing happened. So it defeats the purpose of monitoring and evaluation. So kailangan meron tayong M&E plan, and our M&E plan covers the 4 processes of the monitoring and evaluation system. So meron tayong purpose and scope, and then pag alam na natin kung ano yung purpose natin, the scope of the program or the projects to be monitored, you have to design your template on how to collect data, and then how will you manage the collected data. And then number 3 is the data collection, data analysis. After collecting data, we have to analyze the data. Okay? So, pwedeng gumamit tayo ng quantity or the qualitative on how to analyze the data. Process, kung paano natin i-convert yung ating data into usable information. So, yan po. And then, number 4, ito po yung parang nakikita lang sa atin pag tayo nagmo-monitor. Information dissemination and reporting. Okay? Example is yung ginagawa ng ating mga QAMI associate pag nag-monitor sila ng mga L&D programs. So, saka lang natin alam na nagmo-monitor pag during the closing program, present na ni QAMI associate yung result ng kanilang QAMI. Hindi natin nakikita yung hirap kung paano sila mag-gather ng data, di ba? Like in conducting the MEA or the ARMEA. So parang ang nakikita lang natin kasi is yung information dissemination. And how about utilization? Okay. Yung na-gather nating data, na-analyze, and then na-disseminate, nagagamit ba? Okay. So ito yung pinaka-importante dito. Collected and analyzed data is presented and it should be utilized. So dapat bumalik tayo sa ating mga stakeholders, and then ito yung resulta ng ating monitoring and evaluation, and then ito naman paano natin gamitin. Ano yung susunod nating intervention to improve the implementation of certain programs or projects. Okay? So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na ginawa kong template sa phase 1, purpose and scope. So the objectives. So we have to know the impact, outcomes, and the output, including the inputs of a certain project or programs. So ang unang tanong, what should you be monitored and evaluating? And then what are the indicators? And who are the target participant or yung respondent natin? Target office, clients, group, or should be monitoring. sino-sino. Kaya nga pinakita ko kanina yung mga indicators natin and then the data source. So doon natin titingnan kung sino yung mga i-monitor natin, anong ating mga indicators. And then data collection and management. So what are the data that you will collect? What are the possible sources of data? Then, who is responsible in the data collection? Who will you collect data during monitoring? When will you collect this data? How frequent will you collect this data? How will you organize the collected data? Where do you store the organized data, and who are the possible users of the data? Okay? And what are the possible uses of this data? For data analysis, ito naman yan, how will you process and analyze the data that you have collected? Who are the responsible in data analysis? How often do you conduct data analysis? And then, for the information dissemination and reporting of and utilization, to whom will you communicate the M&E result? So you have to identify your stakeholders and then the audience. How will you communicate the results? Or what are the communication reporting strategies will you employ? And when do you report the M&E result? So those are the core processes of monitoring and evaluation system. Okay. Next, the monitoring and evaluation system per governance level. So ito na yung ano natin pinaka-importante dito. So for the national M&E system, defines the scope of the DepEd monitoring system. It includes continuous review and enhancement of performance indicator that shall ensure that needs of all learners are addressed. So that is for the national M&E system. For the regional M&E system, sa amin po yan, ensures the effective, efficient, and inclusive implementation of all education policies and programs and achievement of desired outcomes. Provides the regional policymakers and implementers with timely and appropriate feedback on the implementation of the Department of Education policies, programs, and delivery system. So for the SDO, Schools Division Offices, so hinighlight ko na po yung ano natin dito. Kasi nandito ang division office at saka school. So sa division offices, focuses on determining effectiveness and inclusiveness of schools in providing basic education services. Serve as a mechanism for reflection of SDO's capacity to provide timely and needs-based basic education support services to school. So that is for the schools division office and the school M&E system. So I hope that all schools in Santiago City establish po ang kanilang SMEA. So we have the school monitoring and evaluation system. So makes teaching and learning process more learner-centered and school-based management more effective and inclusive. Provides the platform for shared governance in developing, implementing, and sustaining effective inclusive schools. Provides school heads, teachers, non-teaching staff, and communities with critical insights, lessons, and timely information on the performance of our learners. Okay. So ito na yung sinasabi ko kanina na the roles and responsibilities of the different offices from national down to school. So we have the monitoring and evaluation system of the national, regional, schools division offices and school. So we have also the overall lead, the process owner, and the responsible offices. For the national level, we have our secretary as the overall lead of the monitoring and evaluation system. The process owner is the planning service division, and the responsible offices are all operating units. So, mamaya, ipapakita ko sa iyo kung ano yung what are the responsibilities of the process owner, the overall lead, and the responsible offices. For the regional offices, regional office, our regional director as the lead. And of course, our division, the quality assurance division, is the process owner of the M&E system in the regional level. And the responsible offices are all operating units. So wala pong exempted dyan. Sa schools division office, of course, our schools division superintendent as the lead, and the process owner is the school governance and operation division or the SGOD. Specifically, nakalans yan sa SMME. And of course, the responsible units in the division office are all the operating units. Sa school naman, the school is, for school, of course, the school head as the lead, and then the process owner is the school head. So talagang mahirap ang katayuan ngayon ng school head in terms sa M&E system. Siya ang lead, siya pa ang process owner. And then the responsible officers naman sa school are the personnel and the stakeholders in the school. So medyo siya ang may pinaka kasi dalawa yung kanyang responsibility, our school head. Okay. So what are the role and responsibilities of the overall lead? So ito. So specifically, pag-usapan natin ang schools division and the school head. They are the general or main accountable and responsible staff per governance level. Of course, pag schools division office, the schools division superintendent, and then sa school naman, our school head have the authority to ensure that information generated from the M&E system are used to develop basic education plans, standards, and the PPAs and assess learning outcomes. Leads in the institutionalization of the basic education monitoring and evaluation system for per governance level, and provides decision and direction on education issues and matters arising from various monitoring and evaluation activities such as national PIR, stakeholders forum, meeting, among others. So those are the roles and responsibilities of our overall lead in the M&E system. And then the process owner naman. Sino sa the schools division office? We have the SGOD. And then again, sa school level is the school head. Okay? These are the roles and responsibilities of our process owner. Office, we will oversee and manage the conduct of the M&E peer governance level. Maintains a database which contains data and information gathered from the M&E activities that can be easily accessed, managed, and updated. Consolidates and analyze M&E reports from operating units for the preparation of reports to be disseminated to internal and external stakeholders. Leads the conduct of the quarterly program implementation review of the PIR. Provides technical assistance and capacity building support to operating units on the management and conduct of the M&E within the respective M&E system. Then, all operating units of the department from the national, regional, school division, and school level are responsible to conduct M&E. So, lahat tayo responsible offices. Establishes the results-oriented and evidence-based M&E within the respective offices. Adheres to the established M&E standard in performing M&E activities and processes. partakes in strengthening the horizontal and vertical integration of M&E system by engaging other operating units during development of local education plans and programs, implementation of national education policies and system, and monitoring and evaluation. Provides feedback, insights, lessons, and other issues gathered from their respective M&E activities to relevant operating units. Participates in the M&E initiatives such as BIRs, periodic reporting of accomplishment of plans and PPAs, submission of OPCR or the IPCRF, among others, applies M&E results in improving office and individual performance. So, yan po yung ating mga references kung paano po nabuo ang basic education monitoring and evaluation. So, that's all. Thank you so much. I would like to say thank you very much to our Schools Division Superintendent and Assistant Schools Division Superintendent for inviting me as one of your resource speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sir Ronnie.
Thank you,
At
sir.
this juncture, allow me to present the certificate, sir. Wait lang po. Republic of the Philippines, Department of Education, Region 2, Cagayan Valley, Schools Division of Santiago City awards this Certificate of Recognition to Ronnie P. Giloy, Education Program Supervisor, Quality Assurance Division, Regional Office Number 2, for having served as resource person during the 2021 Division in-Service Training held at Schools Division of Santiago City through online streaming on March 15, 2021. Given this 15th day of March 2021 at SDO Santiago City, Philippines. Signed, Cherry S. Ramos, EDD CESO 5, Schools Division Superintendent. Thank you very much, Sir Ronnie. Maraming
Thank you,
salamat
sir,
po.
Phil. Maraming salamat po,
Thank you,
SDO
sir.
Santiago City.
Yes, sir. Again, we extend our sincerest gratitude to Sir Ronnie Giloy for sharing his expertise on the school management monitoring and evaluation. Sana marami po tayong napulot na aral, especially on the facets of monitoring and evaluation in the division level and the school level. At last, okay, our third and last, but definitely not the least, from the roster of the competent speakers that we have this day, is one of the models of transformational leadership who leads various teams to conform to the standards of excellence and quality in service provision, education management, and client-focused services with the end goal of elevating the quality of education through innovations and solutions which will which are strategically designed to fit the new normal in education. Friends, fellow educators in the Department of Education, Schools Division of Santiago City, to discuss to us the topics teaching as the noblest profession and the effective and efficient scenarios. Let us welcome with virtual applause our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Jonathan A. Ronda.
Share screen application. Yun, here.
Okay. Again, let's welcome our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Jonathan A. Pronta. Hi, sir.
Hi, Sir Marfield. Meron na ba yung presentation ko?
Yes, sir. Paki-full screen na lang, sir.
Full screen na lang. O, nag-full na? Oo. Nakapa-screen na? Okay na? Hello to everyone. Good afternoon. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Yung mga nakikinig nating mga participants dyan. Sige. Okay. So, okay na. Yan.
Pasar yung camera.
Wala, ayaw niya akong magbukas.
Okay, wait lang po natin si Sergio. Again, thank you, Sir Ronnie po for gracing our 2021 Division in Service Training.
Ano ko na to Asan na?
Meron na, sir.
Okay, so sa ating lahat, so to our SDS Ma'am Che, to all the participants over there, good afternoon. Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. No? So the topic given to me is yung teaching as the noblest profession. When we are talking about noblest profession, no? So we are talking about teaching. So may I introduce you the different objectives of this session. By the way, I have 145 slides. So I do not know. So if 1 minute or 1 minute per slide, so we're going to have 1 hour 45 minutes. So around 2 hours and 30 minutes. Okay. So I do hope that I will be able to finish it 30 minutes for this. Okay. So one of the objectives of this session, my friend, is to enumerate some definite policies on teaching, non-teaching related issues and concerns. And then we shall also discuss some ways on how to enhance attitude on teaching and non-teaching related, and then show adherence to some policies on teaching and non-teaching related issues and concerns. So meron ba kayong gustong idagdag sa ating objectives ngayon dyan, mga kaibigan? So Sir Dahan, meron kayong gustong idagdag sa ating objectives? Wala yata. Okay. First activity natin, so may I know, just sabi niya, brainstorm with me please. No, let's make a mental list of challenges that you interfere with your passion and motivation for teaching. Just write your answers on the chat box. Sir Marfil, paano ko makikita yung chat box? Di ba baka mo sa akin? Okay, so I'll be going to give you 10 seconds. Please write any, no, or one challenge, no, that have interfered your passion or motivation as to teaching. Okay, so may I see the different responses? So I need your participation. Okay, so 10 seconds or 20 seconds? Siguro pwede na yun, no? Meron na mga responses, sir, ano? Hindi ko nakikita. Pwede mo makita dito? Hindi. O, makikita ko. Saan ko makikita? Ayun. O wala pa. Good afternoon, Sir Jonathan. Ang sabi ni Joanna Mary Gulyaga. Yun bang response mo, Joanna? Joke lang, Ma'am Joanna, ha? Okay, good afternoon, Sir ASDS. Wala naman kayong response doon. Please give me any response, no? With the, yung question na binigay ko sa inyo. Okay. O, meron nang sumagot si Patong National High School. Sabi niya, communication, that is one of the interfering challenge kay Patong National High School. Ano naman? Sa iba naman, may we listen also sa other participants or other school? Gusto kong makita ang sagot nung nandun sa Sagana High School, or gusto kong marinig ang sagot ng Patul Elementary School. Sabi naman ng SDO Santiago, thank you. Bakit nag-thank you yung Santiago? Ayan. From Cherry and Segundo, critical resources. O, tama. So that is also one of the interfering challenge, no? Okay, thank you, Ma'am Cherry Ann. And then, I want also to hear from Nabuan High School or Nabuan Elementary. Walang sagot ang Nabuan Elementary.
Ito, meron siya.
Sige, ano pa kaya yung mga kwan natin, mga challenges natin, no? Regarding our teaching. From Ma'am Marilu Guison, transportation naman ang problema ni Ma'am Marilu. Siguro napakalayo ni Ma'am Marilu sa kanyang station. Ma'am Marilu, taga saan ka ba, Ma'am Marilu? Di ba dito ka sa Caloocan, tapos doon ka lang sa Rosario High School? Di ba lapit-lapit? Problema ba yun, Ma'am Marilu? Joke lang. Okay, so thank you for those responses. Sino pa kayong magbigay ng response? What other interfering challenges, no? As you are doing your teaching profession, merong mga challenges tayong nararanasan. Ano yung mga yun kaya? Okay, so I'm still waiting. So last 1 minute. Parang di ko nakikita yung sagot ni Kwan ng mga taga Santiago South Central. Oh, meron sa Santiago South Central School. Sabi ni Ma'am Lilibeth, financial matter. O pwede. So yan, iwasan natin ang problema ng pera. Kay Ma'am Emerita naman ng Rosario High School, responsibility. Siguro sa dami-dami ng mga responsibility si Ma'am Emerita, no? Kaya nagiging interfering ang kanyang responsibility sa kanyang pagtuturo o sa kanyang pagiging teacher. Okay, thank you. From Maria Cecilia Taguba, problema din ang commitment sa kanya. Siguro hindi sila nagko-commit ng kanyang asawa. Okay? Joke lang. And then from, dami na. From Ma'am Semiona Dalyuran, this is the time, the pandemic naman ang problema ni Ma'am Semiona. From Kabulay, sabi niya, normal and new learning modality. Yan, problema din niya. From Share Singouts, transportation. Then from Esmeralda, yan, normal trends. Come from Elmerchita, Ribuka, parang problema niya yung emoticon naman ibinigay niya. From Benavista, Michael Torres, multitasking. Problema pa yung multitasking? Siguro sa dami-dami ng ibinababa ng Department of Education ng mga trabaho natin na kung minsan talagang kailangan natin maging multi-task. Okay? From Brother Jules, but I do not see it's a problem. I home visit my students. So sabi niya, di para problema yung pag-visit niya. And then Elmer Chita Ribuka, on-time printing delivery. So sa dami-dami ng kanyang mga, so those are the different challenges. So ang dami ng mga trabaho. Okay, so let's move to the next. Saan yung aking presentation? Paano magbalik? Mga kuya. Yan. All right, so number 2 question, reflect for a moment. How do you prioritize the importance of this challenge? Again, write your answers on the box. Okay? Hindi siya nagmo-move. Paano kuya? Dapat meron akong pang kasi dito, ICT na nakatabi ko. Nagtatago naman silang lahat. Oh, ang dami-dami nang dito. Hindi naman sila. Ay. Okay, yan. So, palaki na natin. Yung malaki, ito na yung, di ba? Ito yung presentation ko. Ito ba yun?
Yan na siya.
Nakikita ba? Hindi naman mo.
Ito na siya.
Hindi pa ako.
Reflection ko na.
Meron na siya.
Pero hindi siya slide. Oh. Ano siya nag-slide? Okay. So, sabi ni Hazel, student cannot. Ano ba yun? Baka nag-stop sharing ka na ulit. From Ma'am Dolores, ang kanyang priority ay pupils. So very good. So yung mga learners pa rin yung priority despite na napakaraming mga intervening factors. No? Congratulations for that. Ang kay Ma'am Tricia, ang kanyang priority naman is yung adaptation to the new normal setup. Thank you for that answer. And from Joanna Marie Gulyaga, lack of time for planning. Kulang daw siya ng time siguro. Very busy ito sa sa mine, charing. Busy sa pagmamine, sa pagpaplantita. Joke lang Ma'am Joanna Marie. Baka man mananiwala ka sa akin. From Halsey, yan. Ano nangyari kuya? Okay na ba?
Yan na siya.
Okay na. Ayan, lumaki na ulit. So, activity number 1, reflect on a moment. So, you have already given your answer. So let's proceed to question number 3. And lastly, no, reflect for a moment, please. Make a mental list on the thing you value in your career. Again, you write your answers on the chat box. Okay? So please make a mental list on the thing that you value in your career. So I will be going to wait again for your answer. Sige. Yan. From Ma'am Emerita Mawirat, ang bilis time management ang binabalyo ng Ma'am Emerita. Thank you for the answer. So parang magkapareha sila ni Jonalyn. Parang nagsakara sila. Pareho sila ng sagot, time management. Namapya ba kayo Ma'am Emerita and Jonalyn? Una si Ma'am Jonalyn. And then from Nes Salem, good health ang priority ni Sir Salem para makaserve ng mabuti sa learners. Thank you for the answer. From Kabulay High School, holistic progress of the learners. So learners pa rin. Kay Dolores Ruiz, parang report ang kanyang pinaprioritize. Teacher ba si Ma'am Dolores? O teacher siya, report ang kanyang pinaprioritize this time. Siguro magagalit yung principal niya kapag walang report na sinasabit. From Ma'am Emerita, focus. Lilibet Dakanay, grade 1 and 2, practice, no, patience. From Ma'am Annalisa, kumustahan the parents. Yun ang priority niya. From Brother Jules, God, my family, and my profession. So, yun, tama, no? From Jeff Gallardi, growth. Parang hindi pa tumatangkad si Jeff Gallardi. Kailan niyang growth? Jeff Gallardi, hindi ka pa tumatangkad? Joke lang, professional growth siguro yung sabi ni Jeff Gallardi. Okay, so thank you for those responses. So you have given to me your priority, no, as far as your profession is concerned. From Wison, focus. Guillermo, commitment. And from Jasmine, December, Idin, ano ba yun? Deciding what is most important is still deciding. Balik na ako doon sa aking PowerPoint presentation, Sir Rick. Saan ako pupunta ngayon? Saan na? Ito na ulit? Hindi kayo kasi teki eh. Okay, so thank you. Commitment din kay Ma'am Mary Jane. Yan.
Ayan po, sir. Tapos,
Sure ba?
apo. Check. Dito.
Nakakita na? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so those are the things. Thank you for the responses that you've given to me. Now, let's reveal the secret. Ano ba yung mga pinaglalagay niya natin? Ano ba yung mga priority natin? Ano yung mga intervening activities and so on and so forth? One of the secrets for us to become a very productive sa atin, sa teach the pupils, no, the different learning strategies. Tama yun, no? So, actually, one of the reasons why we have this in-service activity for a week, no, we will be going to do review the different strategies that we are doing. Kasi alam nyo, lumabas ang napakaraming SLMs, lumabas ang napakaraming mga tinatawag nating mga ang tawag nito, last, no? Pero parang lahat ng mga activities na yan ay parang fitted lahat sa mga uri ng learners natin. Alam natin, meron tayong 4 na learners. Yung isa is yung advanced, yung least, the last, the lost. So 4 yung learners natin na yon, no? Pero nung lumabas ang last, parang true to all yung activities ng ating last. So that's why itong gagawin natin in-service training ngayon, mga kaibigan, this will really give, so that we'll be going to really practice what is being told by the K-12 program for us to utilize as far as teaching strategies concerned. That is differentiated instruction. They will achieve academic success. So that is really the reason, no? One of the reasons why we are really doing prioritizing our learners. Tama yung sumagot ng mga, they really have to prioritize, no, yung kanilang mga learners. Why they have chosen this career? Because they want to provide technical assistance, learning experiences to our learners. Number 3, they will learn important life skills. So congratulations, no? Life skills. Alam ko na kayo nagbibigay ng life skills. A while ago, our SDS, no, discuss, no, the different exits, the different skills, no, to be imparted to our learners. Okay? They will feel motivated to remain successful. So ito yung mga tinatawag nating mga gusto nating mangyari sa ating mga learners. Their pathway to the future will be transformed. You will feel satisfied. Your desire to perform your work will enhance, and you will feel happy and excited about your work. These are the things, no, that will really give satisfaction and fulfillment as far as teaching is concerned. Alin dyan sa mga fulfillment na binabanggit ko ang wala sa inyo na hindi nyo nafe-feel, mga kaibigan? Meron ba? O, lahat ng mga nafe-feel natin, no, as we do our teaching. Anyway, my topic this time is we will just be going to do the necessary we will do the revisiting of the different education policies. So I have 3 sessions actually, no? The first is the Department of Education's policies on teaching and non-teaching related issues and some protocols in social grace in different scenarios, no? I have given you yung paumpisa kong topic, no? Para may prepare sa inyo na ano bang mga reason kung bakit tayo nagiging masaya sa pagtuturo? Ano bang mga reasons o yung mga priority natin sa buhay habang tayo nagtuturo, no? At least, no, alam ko yung mga ang ating mga pina-priority, no, ay meron tayong mga iba't ibang mga policies concerning regarding this so that we will be going really to perform our teaching profession in accordance no, to policies and guidelines. Okay? So I will just be going to reiterate to you some of the Department of Education's policies on teaching and non-teaching related issues kasi you will not be going to reach your aspirations to your learners, your aspirations to your growth, your aspirations to your professional growth, I should say, your aspirations to your good commitment whatsoever kung wala kang, kung hindi mo na-adhere, no, ang mga iba't ibang mga policies regarding teaching. Okay? So kailangan natin yan. So this is inconsistent with the Department of Education rules and policies with, no, or in observance with the Civil Service Commission laws, the PED issuances, and as regards to non-teaching related issues and concern. Okay? So number 1 na kailangan natin, no, this is about attendance. It's very important for us attendance, no. We have many references regarding attendance. I think bulk yung nandiyan na nakikita nyo regarding attendance, no. So I do believe that you are really practicing or attending your schedule. Kung work from home ka or kung ikaw ay on-site, so I do hope na you are really participating or really doing as far as attendance is concerned, talagang 100% yung attendance natin. Okay? Okay. Sabi niya, under attendance 1.1, all teaching and non-teaching personnel are required to utilize the biometrics and attendance logbook for daily log in and log out 15 minutes before the time in the morning, log out during noon break, not earlier than 12, log in afternoon break, not earlier than 12:30, and log out in the afternoon after 15 minutes for the prescribed time. Marami sa ating mga teachers ang nakakatuwa ang kanilang paglalagay ng kanilang DTR. Pumasok sila 8, lumabas sila 12. Following day, pumasok sila ulit 8 na naman. Tapos lumabas sila 12 na naman. True ba yun? Hindi. So kung susundan natin kung ano yung oras talaga ng pag-time in natin, yun ang sulat natin. Talaga nakakatuwa. 1, tapos 5. Following day, 8, 12, 1, 5. So ilagay natin. Sabi ng civil service, dapat 30 minutes yung break. So huwag kayong maglagay ng 12, nag-out ka ng before lunch, tapos naglagay ka 12:01. Hindi nakakuan yun, hindi na, paano sir kung kumain ako sa office, gawin pa rin ang gawin natin, ibig sabihin hindi ka nag-break, hindi ka nag-lunch break. So gawin pa rin natin yun. So this covers to all personnel of the school, visibility of all the school heads in their school is very much needed. So kailangan natin kailangan pa rin natin maglagay ng 30 minutes na kanyang allowance. Kasi nakikita natin yung mga DTRs ninyo, talagang yung mga DTR ay hindi talaga kapani-paniwala yung paglalagay. Maganda kung mayroon tayong mga biometrics, no? Kasi talagang nakikita mo doon ang katotohanan, di ba? Okay. Ang katotohanan. 1.2, sabi niya dito sa Section 5, Rule 17 ng Omnibus Rules Implementing Title and Subtitle A, Book 5 of the Administrative Code of 1987, we really have to render at least 8 hours, no, of work for 5 days a week or 40 hours a week, exclusive of time for lunch. Okay, so ang ibig sabihin nito lang mga kaibigan, no, suppose yung teacher ay, ang nire-required naman sa Department of Education, 6 hours ang ating pagtuturo and 2 hours for the preparation, other activities. May mga issues kasi dito regarding noon, yung mga senior high school especially, sinasabi kasi nila 6 hours lang yon, after which pwede na silang lumabas sa school. Now, which is not supposed to be. Pero ang sinasabi, which is not really supposed to be. At sinasabi ditong Section 5 natin, kailangan talaga natin, we really have to stay there for 8 hours. So hindi pwede yung kung part-time ka, pwede sana kung part-time ka. Pero hindi ka part-time, so you cannot really leave the school. So 8 hours kang mag-stay sa school, typically 8 to 12, 1 to 5. Nyo. Alright. So ngayon kung mayroon kang 6 hours na teaching, okay na yon. Ngayon kung naging 7 hours or 8 hours yung tuloy-tuloy na pagtuturo mo, mayroon bang ganon? Mayroon na tayong tinatawag na overtime pay for that matter. As far as overtime pay is concerned, you really have to ask yung ating schools division superintendent, kahit anong school tayo, kung tayo man ay IUs, kung tayo man ay under sa PSU or whatsoever, may karoon pa rin tayo ng request sa ating schools division superintendent for the approval of your tinatawag nating overtime so that you will be entitled for the overtime pay. Without approval of the SDS, you are not being entitled for the tawag nito, overtime pay. Yun po ang mga protocols, mga rules and regulations natin mga kaibigan. Okay, another one, Section 8. Rule number 13 of the Omnibus Implementing Title, Subtitle A, Book 5 of the Administrative Code of 1987 as amended provides that habitual absenteeism, this happens when the employee incurs unauthorized, read, no approved official leave, walang approved na official leave, absences for more than 2.5 days for at least 3 months in a single semester or for 3 consecutive months in a year. Habitual absenteeism na yan. So January, talot absent na, February, talot absent na, August, ay, ano susunod sa February? O di ba March? Yan, March. 2.5 parati ang kanyang mga absences, habitual absenteeism na yon. Yan. So kailangan po natin na umuiwas, especially sa mga teachers natin. So kailangan po natin ito, no? Kasi ang mga teachers supposed to be, they are not allowed. Kung regular sana ang klase, they are not really allowed kasi meron tayong mga 2 months na vacation leave o vacation usually doon sa April and May. Pero this time nasa new normal tayo, so still, no, this is still in effect. So at least for 3 months na sunod-sunod na meron kang 2.5 days na absent, you'll be considered habitual absentee. Okay? Habitual tardiness. This happens when the employee is tardy for at least 10 times in a month. 10 times in a month for 2 months in a single semester or 10 times in a month for 2 consecutive months in a single year. Take note that technically 8 a.m. is already considered tardy. True. Tama yon, no? 8:01, tardy ka na. Especially kapag biometrics yung ating ginagawa. Okay lang kapag mga logbook, something like that, pwede mong dayahin. Pero kapag biometrics, hindi natin madadaya. Sa mga schools, no? Mayroong time nung na-require lahat ng mga schools na they really have to utilize now the biometrics. Pero nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, parang ibinalik sa logbook para daw maiwasan ang hawaan, maiwasan ang paggamit or whatsoever dyan. Yan. So the 15-minute grace period known and commonly practiced among government offices has no base in law or CSC regulation. Yan. So take note of that, mga kaibigan. So I do hope, no, sa lahat sa mga school natin, you are really coming to school. Alam ko naman, no, especially sa mga schools nung hindi pa nagkaroon ng pandemic, tayo ay maaga, no. Dito nga sa SDO Santiago, no, kami ni Ma'am Cherry Ramos, manggagaling sa Ilagan at Aritaw, parang mas malayo yung pinanggagalingan ng iba. Kasi naka-vlog ceremony na kami, meron pang mga tumatakbo. Meron pang mga, ewan ko kung saan ba sila nanggaling, parang Aritaw ako, parang Santa Fe yata nanggaling yun. nanggaling yata sa Santa Fe yung nung nahuli kaninang umaga, joke lang. Okay. Ay, loafing. Bakit ipinagbabawal ang loafing? Sabi nila, no, ang loafing daw, ipinagbawal ang loafing kasi, joke lang ito baka malaman na, baka magkita yung school head at yung teacher doon sa Robinson. Okay, especially kapag during office hours. Yan kasi, no. Ang loafing, my friend, no, incurs frequent unauthorized absences from duty during office hours. Lumabas siya, nagpunta siya doon sa department store, o inutusan niya ang kanyang teacher or whatsoever dyan. Marami kasi mga cases na umaalis yung mga teacher kung saan-saan lang sila nagpupunta. So unauthorized po yun, no? So we really have to avoid all those things, no? Anong malay natin, baka magkita tayo dun sa Robinson, di bawal talaga yon. So iwasan po natin ang loofing, mga kaibigan. Okay? So Civil Service Commission Memorandum Circular number 16 promulgates the guidelines on undertime, which mentioned that undertime is not classified as tardiness. It states that any officer or employee who incurs undertime, regardless of the number of minutes, hours, 10 times a month, or at least 2 months in a semester, or at least 2 consecutive months during the year, shall be liable for a simple misconduct. Siguro mas magaling si Attorney Rona kapag siya ang nagdi-discuss dito, no? Yan, as the case may be. Okay. Another one is tardiness refers to the failure of an employee to report for work or resume for work on time. Any official or employee shall be considered habitually tardy if he/she incurs tardiness regardless of minutes per day 10 times. Parang naulit. Naulit ba? Ay, hindi naman. Okay. Consecutive months or 2 months in semester during the year. He is subject to disciplinary action. First offense is reprimand. Second offense is suspension for 1 day to 30 days. And third offense is dismissal. Dismissal pala yun. Oh, no? Yung parating nalilate dyan, no? O Ma'am Abby, di ba? Ang aga mo naman nagpumapasok. Yan. Maaga si Ma'am Abby kanina kasi siya ang focal person ng ating activity. Yan. Ito na yung naulit na sinasabi ko. So, an employee who has incurred unauthorized absences exceeding the allowable 2.5 days monthly leave credit under the leave law for at least 3 months in a semester or at least 3 consecutive months during the year shall be considered habitually absent. Those who incur habitual absent is subject 6 months and 1 day to 1 year suspension. No, tingnan nyo no? So magkaroon tayo ng suspension, no? So kaya lang kung minsan very human ang ating mga batas at very human ang management sometimes, kaya hindi na ipapatupad ang ganitong uri ng mga offenses. Yan. So sana sa susunod na taon ay i-implement na ni Ma'am Che ito. Joke lang. Oh, yan. Oo nga. There shall be no offsetting of tardiness. Oh, walang offsetting yan. Na-late ka nabigat ko may ka 7:45, na-late ka di kalmanti 8:40 kang sumangkot. Hindi pwedeng ganon. So, ino-offset mo yung attendance mo. Hindi pwede. At di bali, nagsapak mong simbrot ka. Ngayon ay maaga akong papasok. Kahapon na-late ako. So, pwedeng ganon. Hindi pwedeng ganon. No offsetting. Okay? MEX Order Number 9 Series 1985 dated January 20, 1985 strict enforcement of civil service rules on attendance. Teachers who do not report to duty shall be marked absent. Siyempre, the corresponding deductions shall be made from their salary. We'll be going to discuss this one later, no? Tingnan natin yung AWA, yung alternative work arrangement natin. Bakit? May tingnan natin kung paano na-absent yung mga teachers na hindi nagbibigay ng responses during their work for home or work from home pala. Okay. Head's office shall be responsible for the attendance. No necessary no for the school heads, sa division office personnel, of course our SDS, sa school mga school heads natin. So commitment to public interest, public officers and employees shall always uphold the public interest over and above personal interest. Okay? And then heads of office shall be responsible for the attendance as per Book 5. Alam naman na natin. And then for 1.11, Republic Act 6113, Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards section states that commitment. Parang na-audit na naman to. Hindi ko yata na-edit. Yan. Ang 1.12, Republic Act 4170, no? Public school teachers shall have the right to freely and without previous authorization both the establishment into joint organization of their choosing, whether local or national, to further defend their interests. Yan. So yung pagsali nila sa mga iba't ibang mga uri ng mga organization. However, no, there are some prohibition of this law. So according to Republic Act 2660, known as Civil Service Act of 1959, ang tagal na, pero still no existing this law, punishing violation of existing civil service law and rules, and also bans strikes, no, yung mga nag-strike natin mga government employees, no. So it is declared to be the policy of the government that employees therein shall not strike for the purpose of securing changes in their terms and conditions of employment. So bawal po na tayo ay nagkakaroon ng strike. Okay. Gusto natin paalisin yung principal natin, mag-strike kayo, so huwag kayong pumasok, hindi po pwede yun. Kayo ang maalis. Dahil si school head ay parating nambubulyaw. Wala na siyang boses na mahina. Parating malakas. Baka kayong mga teachers, gusto niyong paalisin siya. Bawal po yun. No, yan. So, maglagay na lang kayo ng, i-text nyo na lang siya na umalis siya, pwede yun. Joke lang. Okay, Republic Act 2016 known as, ulit yung mga pinagagawa. Naulit na naman siya. Okay. MEX Order Number 10, Series 1985, dated January 31, and reiterating regulations related to class disruptions. Bakit, no? May mga, ito, very true, ito nang nangyari mga ng mga hindi pa, wala pa yung new normal natin, no? May mga teachers kasi na iniiwanan yung kanilang mga schools, yung mga teachers nila. And naman pa ag-loan. Punta muna ako doon sa, ano yung nagpapaloan? O Manila teachers, punta muna ako dyan sa St. Joseph loan for 1 hour or 1 minute or 30 minutes. Kung punana dyan, panahon na dyan, binakita mariat, katangan kanto, something like that, iti meriendam. So, hindi pwede yun. No? So, if something happens, no, to your learners, you are held responsible for that. No? So, iwasan po natin yun. So, I do hope na walang ganon. Pero parang ang dami naglolong dito yata. Okay. Next order number 10. So, still the superintendents and principals to check the attendance of the teachers. Those who are absent without prior approval by the official concerned or who refuse to perform their functions should be subjected to corresponding administrative sanctions. So, by the time that you're going out, you always seek for approval from your school heads, no, or from the school's division superintendent dito sa SDO. Okay, yan. Strike na naman yan. Okay, yan. For strike, okay, so wag na namin i-discuss yan. Yan. Number 2, number of teaching hours. This is in reference to Republic Act 4670, the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers. So, as I told you a while ago, no, that we really have to render 6 hours teaching, after teaching, and 2 hours for the preparation of other activities in the school. And we are not allowed to go out if we are not rendering 8 hours during a day, no, during school days. Okay, so yun po, no. So the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, any teacher engaged in actual classroom instruction shall not be required to render more than 6 hours of classroom teaching a day, which shall be scheduled as to give him time for the preparation and correction exercises and other work incidental to his normal teaching duties. So yun po, provided that where the exigency of the service so require, any teacher may be required to render more than 6 hours but not exceeding 8 hours. Mayroong mga instances, halimbawa kasi, may parent o mayroong isang teacher na hindi siya nakapag-leave agad-agad, no? And normal na yung pagtuturo ng teacher na yon, o mayroong isang teacher na nagtuturo na ng 6 hours tapos nag-absent kasi ng almost 2 months na walang leave yung teacher, yun, pwedeng mabibigyan sila ng mga overtime pay kapag natagdagan yung kanilang mga teaching loads. Kasi yung teacher normally na hindi nagpaalam, ibinigay o inwaras or na-distribute doon sa mga teachers na naiwanan. That's why mayroong mga remuneration or something na. So take note, no, of this, no, yung kanilang tinatawag nating overtime is at least 25%, no, of his basic pay. So yung ibig sabihin, kung ang isang teacher 1 ay 21,000, that depends upon the computation of yung number of hours na kanyang na-render, hindi dapat lalagpas ng 25% yung kanyang nakikita o yung kanyang overtime pay. Okay? On vacation or sick leave, no, this is about Rule 16 of the Omnibus Rules implementing Title 1, Subtitle A, Book 5 of the Administrative Code of 1987. Sabi niya, under this 3.1, 5.1 Section 51, Application for Vacation Leave. All application for vacation leave of absence for 1 full day or more shall be submitted on the prescribed form for action by the proper head of agency 5 days in advance. Take note, 5 days in advance. This is still in effect, no? That's why kapag nagpaplano kong mag-absent na or mag-leave 5 days before your leave mo, ay na-submit mo na yung tawag nito, yung leave form. Yan. Pero iba naman yung case kapag sick leave, no? Iba naman ang case kapag sick leave kasi hindi mo naman ma-determine at guri-gurak mo bigat kung paano enjoy. Or pwede ka rin pwede rin yung sick leave kung meron kang something na operation na talagang alam mo na sabi ng doctor mo you will be operated on this day, so this something like that, no? Pwede yon. All right, so yun po yung mga natin, okay? And then for application for sick leave, all applications for sick leave of absence for 1 full day or more shall be made on the prescribed form and shall be filed immediately upon employee's return, pagbalik niya, no, from such leave. Only non-teaching personnel shall be afforded sick leave of absence and vacation sick leave of absence. Teaching personnel may be allowed to have leave of absence using their accrued service credits. Yan, pwede sila, no, na mag-undergo ng leave, yung mga teachers natin, na ginagamit ang kanilang. So maganda dito sa mga non-teaching natin, they have their 30 days or 15 days na sick leave at 15 days na vacation leave na magagamit. Sa non-teaching, kung meron tayong mga accrued leaves, and that depends still, no, the approval of our SDS. Okay. Another is na very important pa yung attendance natin sa flag ceremony. Why? The Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines, Debit Order Number 50, Series 2015, Observance, Conduct of Flag Raising and Lowering Ceremonies and Proper Sequence in Official Debit Programs, no, involving singing of the Philippine anthem. So these are the different parts, no. Meron tayong singing of lupang hinirang, interfaith prayers, ito naman ang ginagawa natin, no, recitation of panunumpa, recitation of panunumpa ng lingkod bayan. Yan. And then for Debit Order Number 50, in the conduct of flag raising ceremonies in private schools or faith-based learning institutions. So this is for public or private institutions, no? These are the foregoing sequence with respect to the singing of the Philippine National Anthem and invocation did not be observed. Thus, the invocation is optional or may be done prior to the singing of the Philippine National Anthem in other case. Pero yung bago na lumabas ngayon, as regards to the one, sabi nila, no, we have to gather as one nation muna, kaya inawit muna natin yung pambansang awit, then we'll be going to call for the guidance, help from the God Almighty. So parang uunahin. So tulad ng ginagawa natin ngayon, we really have to sing first yung pambansang awit bago yung interfaith. Okay? Okay ba? Oh, yes, okay. 4.1, the assembly shall sing the Philippine National Anthem accompanied by band. If available at the first note, the flag shall be raised briskly. The same procedure shall be observed when the flag is passing in review or in parade. And then in case of official debit programs conducted in the central or regional or schools division or public schools nationwide, involving singing of the Philippine National Anthem, the singing of the Lupang Hinirang should be done before the invocation at the start of the program. So yun na nga sinasabi natin kanina. Okay, in programs held, na-discuss na rin natin yan, consistent with Section 18 of Republic Act 8144, baliktad, 8491, all central, all central regional schools division offices and public and private schools nationwide shall henceforth observe the flag lowering ceremonies every Friday afternoon. Dahil sa 3:30 naman ang flag natin, icon natin dito, instead na flag ceremony ay flag lowering, nagiging disinfectation. Or this ano tawag nun? Disinfection. Hindi ko ano bang nangyari sa aking disinfection. The ceremony shall be simple and dignified and shall include only the playing of or singing of the Philippine national anthem. Okay? All right. During the flag lowering, the flag shall be lowered solemnly and slowly so that the flag shall be down the mast of the sound of the last note of the anthem. Okay? Ginagawa naman na natin yan, no? Ito, moonlighting in private practice of profession. Sino ba yung mga nagtuturo dito sa other private institution, no? Or mga nagtuturo o mayroong mga part-time job. Si Ma'am Abby yata may mga part-time job yan, no? Ano yung part-time job mo, Ma'am Abby? You are teaching at sa NC. Natuturo ka yata, no? Okay. Alright, so tingnan natin, no? So there shall be absolutely no teaching by government officials and employees during office hours, 6 hours actual teaching, 2 hours to complete the 8 hours required, even if the time spent is covered by corresponding vacation leave. Permission, ito naman ngayon. Permission to teach may be granted only for subjects or courses which are related to the particular field of work or the official. So you are going to ask for permission from the head of the agency. Yan. So kailangan natin naman yan para hindi tayo magkaroon ng... Yes, ma'am. No official or employee shall be allowed to teach in any school or institution over which he/she directly or indirectly exercise jurisdiction, control, supervision, or influence by reason of his office or position in the government in contemplation of the anti-graft and corruption practices in the prohibited acts under the Code of Ethics. O very clear naman po yan. Pursuant to Part E of the Debit Order number 5 of Series 2008, the school's division superintendents are the approving authorities on request for permission to teach or practice of profession by school personnel and division office personnel. Yan. Yung bago ngayon is, sa amin sa mga third level pala, no? The permission will be approved by the regional office. No? Request for teachers for permission to teach or practice of profession shall be accompanied by statement of his/her official loads with schedule and signed by the school heads. To ensure compliance to load limitation, the applicant shall submit a certification from the authorized official of the private school or entity where the profession is to be practiced as to his/her loads with corresponding number of units and the schedule addressed to the concerned SDS. Yan, ano pa ba ang mahalaga dito sa 5.7? The permission shall be good for 1 school year except for college graduate teaching which shall be on semestral basis. Permission to teach may be withdrawn or revoked at any time whenever the exigence of the service so requires, or if the herein conditions prescribed has been violated. This is without prejudice to administrative disciplinary action for violation hereof. Ano pa ba ang mahalaga dito? No official or employee shall hold any school, college, or university, any position or assignment involving management. Yan, so very clear mga kaibigan. Ito, number 6, transfer of station. So maraming mga nagtra-transfer ng mga gusto nilang matransfer agad, 1 month, 7 months pa lang sila sa isang station. So this is in accordance to the Debit Order number 7, Debit Order 22, and Debit Order 22-2015. Yan, so tingnan natin. So sabi ng Debit Order number 22, Series 2013, upon teacher's appointment, dapat she or he will not be going to seek for transfer at least 3 years of service in that school. 3 years pa. So ang tagal naman so 3 years pa. The same provision shall apply for school unless exigence of service may be invoked by the office. So meron naman exemption. So unless kapag exigence of the service na, so pwede naman i-pull out na yung 1 year na pa ilang ijenabuan going to ABRA. So in the exigence of the service, gamitin ng ating authority, no, for that matter. As a matter of office policy, ito naman, so authority to travel from the head of agency, in particular the school division superintendent, whenever personnel get out from his authorized official station. So SDS pa rin yung mga travel order natin dito within the region or within the Philippines. Authority to travel may be issued by either debit or visas only upon the authorization from the exclusive. So depende ito no sa depende yung position natin no, yung levels ng position natin no. If your position is third level, go out from the region, you have to seek travel authority from. Pero dito ngayon as per yung latest na travel order natin, kapag yung teacher ang aalis no within the vision, yung signatories niya is the sino? Wala, di mo alam, joke. Yung principal, okay. Now, kapag yung teacher ay alis na outside the division, it's the school's division superintendent for the approving authority. Yan, tama ba? Yan, okay. So, take note of those. Anyway, meron tayong mga debit order for this. Alright, so, eto, ang next natin is about yung RPMS. I think I'm not going to discuss this anymore. Because na-discuss ko na ba ito noon? Yes, during Mancom. Okay, so paalala lang po sa atin ngayon. So since meron tayong bago, no, na end of the school year, so of course, automatic mag-fall naman tayo. July ang ating last day ng school year natin. So automatic na yung submission ng OPCRF at ng IPCRF ng mga schools, no, from that month, no, August or July and August, that will be the submission of the OPCRF ng school head and IPCRF for the teaching staff. Yan. Kapag sinabi natin teaching, yung mga nasa school, at saka yung mga staff, no, na direct na nagsusupport, nagre-report sa ating mga principal. Yan. Okay? So I think we're not going to discuss this anymore. Mid-year performance review. So kailangan natin magkaroon ng mid-year performance review. I'm planning to have the performance review for the school heads by this March. So I do hope no na the schedule will permit us to conduct this, and so with the other positions in the division office. Okay. Hindi ko na i-discuss ito no kasi parang somewhat na ano siya. Ito naman. Isa dito sa sinasabi niya dito no para sa atin no as per section 2 rule 12 of the revised omnibus rules and appointments and other personal actions as amended states that dropping from the roles officers and employees who are either habitual absent or have unsatisfactory or poor performance or have shown to be physically and mentally unfit to perform their duties may be dropped from the roles. Yan. So dapat yung mga performance natin wala dapat unsatisfactory at saka poor performance. Pero dito sa Santiago talaga namang pataasan yan outstanding at saka very satisfactory lang yata no, walang satisfactory. Yan. So kasi we are really doing our best. We are really making our best for us to have a higher. Now, as regards naman dito sa performance pala, meron kasing mga school heads na ayaw nilang nauungusan. Halimbawa, si master teacher, halimbawa si school heads ay ang kanyang performance ay outstanding. Si school heads 4.52. Yan, outstanding. Si master teacher, supposed to be yung na-complete niya is 4.92. Ang sabi ni school head, apay nalalaing kakidingom siya ako, hindi pwede yan kung nana ni school head. Pero ang sinasabi ng RPMS natin, kapag itotal mo lahat ang rating ng mga teaching staff, huwag dapat tataas doon sa school head. So pwedeng mayroong teacher na 4.92 or mayroong 3.5, something like that, na basta hindi lang yung total na points ni principal ay malagpasan. Pwedeng mayroong mga matataas na mga teachers. Pero kapag kunin mo yung average ngayon ng lahat ng mga teaching staff, hindi dapat mas mataas doon sa rating ni school head. Yun po ay doon sa as per RPMS. Yan. So kung 4.8 si school head at sa si teacher 3 ay 4.92 pwede yun. Pero kapag itali mo lahat, i-total mo, i-average mo lahat yung teaching staff na kuha nila, huwag dapat malagpasan si school head na 4.92. Dapat 4.91 lang ang total average ng rating ng lahat ng kanyang staff. Okay? Kasi meron talaga tayong mga teachers na mas magaling sa school head. Maniwala kayo doon? Yes. As far as teaching is concerned, yun. Or we cannot really deny the fact that there are teachers really talagang nag-perform ng better or talagang matataas naman talaga yung kanilang o maganda talaga ang kanilang performance. Alright. As stated in the above action section, failure of any government personnel to undergo performance evaluation shall be ground also for dropping from the roles. So kapag sinabing ang submission ng inyong IPCRF will be in the second week of August, you really have to submit on the second week of August. So mind you, no, you will be dropped from the roles. Wala kayong sahod ng September, October. Okay. As regards to in-service training naman, no, and the conduct of SLACs and conduct of GAD or GAD. So this in reference to Debit Order number 35, Series 2016. The Learning Action Cell as K-12, Basic Education Program, School-Based Continuing Professional Development Strategy for Improvement of Teaching and Learning. So comment lang dito sa mga naggagawa ng kanilang mga inset, no? Ang basis natin sinasabi ng 9.1.1 for insets, no, you really have to base doon sa training needs assessment ng ating mga teachers. Actually, tatlo yan no, na pinagkukuhanan natin, yung IPPD, yung ESAT ng PPST, at doon sa part 4 ng ating RPMS. So doon sa rationale nyo mga kaibigan at kapatid ng mga school heads, when you're going to craft any kinds of inset, no, please try to mention doon as example, rationale. Based from the teaching needs analysis, no, the school in which the school have conducted, it was found out that the following are the need of the teachers. They really need this kind of training, etc., etc. So pagkatapos nun, so this is the reason why this training inset or lack or GAD is being conceptualized. O, di ba? Hindi yung kung saan sa kanya kumukuha ng mga pinagkukuhan yung very broad ang kanyang sinasabi nyo. Parang galing naman ng school head na ito. Kung saan niya pinagpupulot ang kanyang pinagsasabi. O, yan. So, meron ba kayong ganon? Okay, so you really have to state. So, kailangan kapag yung mga lack ninyo, yung mga GAD activities ninyo, at saka yung inset ninyo, dapat ay data-driven siya. So, hindi lang basta-basta kung saan mo nakuha, kasi may mga school heads na kasi dyan na ang kanilang mga inset proposal ay halos magkatulad sila ni Juana kay Juan. Yan. So, iwasan po natin kasi hindi naman kasi magkatulad yung kanilang needs. Okay? For GAD trainings, no, training proposal should be submitted with attached approved GAD plan and budget. Yan. DepEd personnel tapped to be resource speakers and facilitators are not entitled to honorarium as per DepEd and COA rules. Yan, alam naman natin ito, no? GAD funds are not eligible for alignment purposes. These funds should be utilized specifically for the program it was allocated. The conduct of insets and GAD training shall be during summer, semestral, or Christmas breaks only. Kayong mga GAD natin, no, ginagawa natin during summer or ginagawa natin Christmas breaks. Okay. Ano pa ba? Yan, teaching needs analysis. Okay, so Debit Order 35, Series 2016, the Learning Action Cell as K-12 Basic Education Program, School-Based Continuing Professional Development. So marami naman kaming mga napepermahan na mga iba't ibang mga requests for the conduct of the Learning Action Cells, no? Lamang ay ang pakiusap namin really ay yung talagang TNA, no, yung training needs ng mga teachers natin. Okay? So based on TNA results, the school heads shall prepare comprehensive plans for SLACs from June to March, kung normal pa sana, or duly approved by the office. No MOE funds and canteen funds should be utilized in the conduct of SLACs. SLAC should be held either on the first or second Fridays of the month from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tap the expertise of the teachers within the school. On no collection policy. Mayroon kasi kaming mga nare-receive pang mga letters na reclaim o reklamo ng mga magulang regarding no collection policy. So mayroon pa rin mga nagko-collect-collecta kasi ng mga iba't ibang mga contributions, though ipinagbabawal na ito. So I do hope, no, na refrain. So kung gusto niyo talagang magpa-collect, ipid yung aming TPTA, bahala silang magdiskarte kung paano gagawin. Basta wag lang bigay nyo sa kanila yung project nila, isagawa nila yung project nila, ng yung project para sa ganun ay hindi kayo maisasali. Yan. For grade 5 to high school, no collection at any time during enrollment period up to the first month of classes. Starting second month of every school year, authorized contributions may be collected on voluntary. Ewan ko this new normal kung mayroon pang mga authorized contributions. Meron ba? Yes, oo. Meron pa pala. Kasi hindi ko lang napipil dito kasi ang nagbabayad pala is yung local government unit natin. Yan. So mostly siguro ang problema lang dito ng contributions ay yung mga generated na funds for the PTA. Yun lang siguro. So mind you, kasi last week or the other week yata may mga letters din na natanggap na naman na nagre-reklamo yung parents kasi daw yung isang principal o yung isang teacher ay nangongolekta naman ng mga contributions. So see to it na yung mga contributions ay talagang yung na-initiate ng mga PTA, no? Sila din ang nagma-manage ng PTA, yung fund na yan. Of course, no? Sa mga school heads being the chief ano bang CEO? Chief Executive Officer, no? Ng isang school, no? Kayo pa rin ang nagmo-monitor yung implementation and everything. Yon. So gawin po rin natin 'yan. In line with the policies, so yung Debit Order Memorandum number 747, otherwise known as the Moratorium on Debit Educational Field Trips and other similar activities, provide the following provisions. Yan. In line with the review of debits policies on field trips, moratorium on field trips is currently in effect. Debit officials and personnel shall not endorse any plans, proposals, and intentions. Sa babagay, new normal, hindi naman ito applicable for this time. Okay? Sige. Dress code for government officials and employees, no? Reference Civil Service Commission Memorandum Roll Number 19 Series 2000s. So, official attire, meron tayong bagong official attire this 2021. So, I do not know when it will be circulated. Respective office uniforms as prescribed by the different government agencies shall be the official attire of government officials. Now, dito ngayon sa atin, sa DepEd, so there was a time na we have a mancom or online mancom, tinanong, no? That depends upon the situation or scenario ng isang school. Kung lahat ng mga schools ay nagpupunta na nagbahay-bahay na nagbibigay ng mga tawag nito, mga las or whatsoever, no, they can wear yung kanilang yung comfortable attire. Meron ding mga schools dito sa other SDO na talagang from Monday to Saturday, from Monday to Thursday ay talagang naka-uniform sila ng DepEd, no uniform. Sa atin naman kasi as being ano ba sa atin, ma'am? Sa mga non-teaching, nag-uniform ba sila? Nag-uniform tayo. So sa atin naman, no, so we are also prescribed, no, to wear our uniform. Yan. Or depende kung kayong masabi nga natin, time ng pag-distribute ninyo ng mga LAS or SLMs, you can wear your comfortable attire. So tingnan natin, no, ano ba ito? Yeah. So third level lang ang hindi hindi pinapayagan. Third level lang ang hindi nire-require na magsuot ng mga attire. So hintayin nyo na maging third level din kayo para maisuot ninyo yung mga best dress ninyo. Joke lang yan appropriate attire. Kasi alam niyo ba kung bakit ang third level ay hindi nire-require ng mga uniform? One of the reasons, because of the many concerns, many meetings they are going to attend to. That's why that's one of the reasons. Okay. So on those days, when there is no prescribed office uniform for the day, employees shall be dressed in appropriate business attire. The wearing of maong pants, although generally prohibited, may be considered lang as an appropriate attire when paired with collared polo. Pwede palang maong kapag mayroon siyang polo shirt for male. Pero nakamaong na nga siya, tapos yung maong niya ano bang tawag? Pisang-pisang. Meron ba ganon yung pisang-pisang? Anong tawag doon? Tattered. Yan, tattered. Or an appropriate blouse or shirt for female employees. So pwede naman tayong magbombas appropriate yung mga blouses or mga t-shirts natin na pinagsusuot. Topic number 2 na tayo. So I have done my, so those are only few reminders. Yung topic number 2 ko, this will be, anong oras na ba? Di ba pwede tayong mag-break? Wala bang, 3:16. So meron tayong nakalagay as per training matrix, meron tayong 15-minute break. Yan. So the time is 3:15. We will be seeing at 3:30. Pwede kayong magkape-kape dyan. Okay. Kape. So magpatugtog ka muna, Sir Marpil. We will be back at 3:26.
Okay, sir. We are given 15 minutes to have our necessities, health break. If you want to prepare coffee, pumunta po sa comfort room, you may do so po.
Luna,
Present!
Herrera,
Present!
Valera.
Present!
Handa ba tayo sa school year 2020?
Present!
Ngayong taon, ang edukasyon tuloy pa rin. Sa tulong ng DepEd, mga guro at mga magulang, ang handang isip, handa bukas. Tuloy-tuloy ang pag-aaral. May mga lessons para sa iba't ibang antas. Sa government TV, maging sa radyo. Mahalagang ligtas ang ating mga estudyante at guro. Kaya kahit nasa bahay, tuloy ang edukasyon. Kung tulong-tulong, may paraan, may aralan.
Handang isip, handa bukas.
Bisitahin ang DepEd Philippines sa Facebook at ang deped.gov.ph.
Agsao ka pa Kuya Mark.
Okay, so requesting everyone to please settle down. We shall have topic number 2 now, together with our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Jonathan Fronda.
Hello to everyone. Good afternoon. So topic number 2 na tayo ngayon. So this is about reminders na lang siguro sa atin. Bakit? Di ba hindi na? Ewan ko. Nakamute pa rin kayo? Okay na? Oh, okay na. Sige, thank you, Sir Murphy. Oh, ito meron na. Meron na. Actually ito, so matagal na natin ginagawa, kaya lang meron pa rin mga nagtatanong kung paano i-implement yung alternative work arrangement natin. It's about Debit Order number 11, Series 2020. So let's find out the different legal basis of this Debit Order number 11, Series of 2020. So these come from Civil Service Commission number 10, Series 2020, or the revised interim guidelines for alternative work arrangement and support mechanisms for workers in the government during the period of state of national emergency due to COVID-19. Galing din sa Omnibus Guidelines in the implementation of community quarantine in the Philippines. Galing din ito sa Debit Order Memorandum 43, Guidelines on the Alternative Work Arrangements in the Department of Education in light of the COVID-19, stringent social distancing measures. And then another legal basis for this is Debit Order Memorandum 52, Series 2020, Advisory and Work Arrangement, blah, blah, blah. DM 54, Series 2020, Reiteration of Advisory and Work Arrangements in the Department of Education, and Department Memorandum 56, Series 2020, Advisory on the Extension of DM 54, Series 2020. So may I give you a glance on what does the following mean? What do the following mean? Enhanced community quarantine. We are talking about the implementation of temporary measures imposing stringent limitation on movement and transportation of people, strict regulations of operating industries, provision of food and essential services, and heightened presence of uniformed personnel to enforce community quarantine protocols. So ECQ po yan, no? What about MECQ? So we are talking about here, yung transition phase between ECQ and GCQ, wherein the following temporary measures are relaxed and become less necessary. Yan. So nagiging relax lang yung MECQ, no? ng konti. Stringent limits on movement and transportation of people, strict regulation of operating industries, provision of food and essential services, and heightened presence of uniform. Mayroon pa rin mga uniform men. And then for the GCQ, this is the General Community Quarantine, refers to the implementation of temporary measures limiting movement, transportation, regulation of operating industries, and presence of uniform. So nagiging it also limits the movement of transportation about yung GCQ natin. And yung MGCQ refers to transition phases between GCQ and new normal when the following temporary measures are relaxed and become less necessary. So ano ngayon ang condition ng Santiago City? Is it GCQ or MGCQ? Pero as per nung February, tayo ay na-declare na MGCQ from this month. So MGCQ, ewan ko lang this coming days, baka meron ko ulit declaration from our president. But we are still in the MGCQ. So that's why MGCQ nagiging mas maluwag siya as far as conduct of movement, conduct of transportation, operation of industries, etc. Okay. So the scope of this debit order memo is the alternative work arrangement that covers all teaching and non-teaching personnel, including contract of service, the JO, personnel in all debit offices at all governance levels, in all public elementary and secondary schools, and continuity learning, learning centers. Okay. So continuity of debt, why? Why is it that we have this? Because DepEd wants that the programs and services will be continued. So we are also talking about the delivery of essential services such as health emergency frontline services, operationalization of the basic education learning continuity plan for school year 2020-21, the school operations and activities stipulated in school calendar, and services such as administrative and security services, financial services, HRMS, ICTS, planning services, legal services, public assistance services, procurement services, and other critical services identified by the top management. Okay, so other parameters for this debit order 11, we have here the office mandates, the exigence of the service, functions, process services that can be rendered through online platforms, implementation of required health standards in the workplace and in schools, other directives that may be assigned by the heads of office. Work priorities in the school. Ano ba yung mga work priorities natin sa schools? Conduct of enrollment, participation of orientation, training, and other CAPB, preparation of instruction materials, planning the organization of classes, assisting and orienting parents, facilitation of enrollment, preparation of learners for the formal start of classes, gathering date on a specific context, participation to Brigada Eskwela and of Plan Balik Eskwela, completion of RPMS requirements, preparation for the initial activities of RPMS for school year 2021, compliance with health standard, reportorial requirements, other tasks that may be assigned in support to basic education learning continuity plan. Okay, so as per DepEd Order number 11, Series 2020, the allowable workforce under various quarantine classifications are the following. For ECQ and MECQ, skeleton workforce in combination with other alternative work arrangement. So, ibig sabihin ng in combination, later on makikita natin yung mga combination na ini-issue ng Civil Service Commission for the ECQ and MECQ. For GCQ, may be in full in operational capacity provided that shuttle services as well as point-to-point transport services may be provided for GCQ. And for MGCQ, work in government agencies may be at full operational capacity or under such alternative work arrangement as agencies may deem appropriated in accordance with the relevant rules and regulations issued by the CSC. So we are an MGCQ, So there are also alternative arrangement or work arrangement for MGCQ. And post-community quarantine, sana ito na, number 4 na ano. Pero parang hindi pa yata natin makukuha yan kasi dumadami ang ating mga cases. Kasi tayong lahat ay hindi na yata tayo joke. Indication of work arrangements. Okay? Under ECQ and MECQ, the DepEd shall operate with skeleton workforce to provide essential services. Others are work from home. Yan. Okay? For GCQ, the number of personnel physically reporting to work shall not exceed 50% of the total workplace of the office or the school or the community learning centers. For MGCQ, DepEd may operate at the full operational physically as may be allowed by required health standards, including physical distancing protocols and adoption of appropriate work arrangement. The work arrangement may be combination, no, yung mga work arrangement natin. So these are the different work arrangement, no, being issued by the Civil Service Commission, no, number 10, 2020. So may be adopted or may be combined by agencies that are appropriate and applicable to us. Okay. Work from home. So ito yung sinasabi kong parating sinasabi no, work from home, yan. Refers to output-oriented work arrangement that authorizes the personnel to produce outputs, results, and accomplishments outside of the office, school, community learning centers, following tasks under. These are the different tasks, no, for us to be entitled for the work from home research, kung meron tayong policy formulation, meron tayong project work, data encoding, adjudication of cases, budget planning, recording of financial records, computer programming, accounting and auditing, drawing tasks, sending, receiving emails, HR tasks, other computer-based tasks, no? So, meron kasing mga kwan dito nag-work from home na hindi ganyan ang kanilang ginagawa sa office. Meron nga dyan nag-work from home na nagmamine. Yan, nagmamine sila. They are having or nagiging plantito at plantita. Kanina nga parang meron akong narinig nagmamine dito sa platform natin. Sino yun? Taas nga ng kamay para bigyan din kami ng percentage nyo. Meron ba? Okay, for work from home still, no? Teaching and learning, professional development for formal and non-formal education. So for the school heads, see to it na nakakapture nito yung provision of tasks. So dapat kapag once na nag-work from home yung teacher mo, nakokontakt natin sila through working hours, access to internet. So makontakt natin sila through SMS. Following 8 hours a day that may be flexible to have log in and out as reflected in the work week plan. Accomplishment report, no accomplishment is subjecting to absence. Ito ang sinasabing David order. Kapag walang accomplishment, yung nag-work from home na employee, he or she is subjecting to absent. Yan. So yun yung work from home. Another one is, so who are those entitled for the WH or WFH? Wow, kape. Personnel below 21 and above 60 years old, pregnant women, ill personnel with medical conditions, personnel with difficulty in reporting, those with immunodeficiency, comorbidities, personnel with difficulty reporting to CLC or to the school due to imposition of strict home and local quarantine. So work from home na ang mga yon. So marami tayong mga lockdown ngayon dito. So you are not allowed to be going there. So that's why you really have to do work from home. So yun yung una, no? Una natin na arrangement. Number 2 na arrangement yung skeleton workforce. Skeleton pala, hindi pala skeletal. So based from debit order number 11, refers to the operational capacity with the smallest number of people needed to business operations to maintain basic functions. Personnel with tasks can only be done at the office, school, or CLC with consideration in health safety conditions, travel limitations. So sa skeleton workforce with travel office and certification pass, 6 hours on site and 2 hours on work from home, log in and out as reflected in the work No record of accomplishment means no work has been performed, thus subjecting the employee to absent. Okay, so yun yung una. So work from home, skeletal work alternative, and ito ngayon ang susunod pa, yung 5-day physically reporting work week on 2-week shifting or rotation. So pwedeng mag 5-day ka ngayon, following week work from home ka na 1 week din. Pwede yung 4-day physically reporting work week and 1-day work from home on weekly shifting or rotation of work din. So, meron din tayong tinatawag na rotation din. Okay. Another one is yung 4-day compressed work week staggered working hours or other alternative work arrangements. So, 4-day compressed. I-compress natin yung 5 days natin na nakaka 40 hours pa rin tayo. So, pwedeng 6 to 6 ng umaga, o 6 ng umaga hanggang 6 ng gabi. Yan. Ngayon, sa kwan natin, pwedeng paghalu-haluin natin ito, no? I-combine natin. So, yung case ng division office, ginagawa natin sa SDO, 3 days ang ating on-site at saka 2 days yung work from home natin. Yan. Except yung mga talagang kanilang mga services ay kinakailangan. And of course, in the exigence of the service pa rin, so if your presence sa office is being required, so you really have to do so. Okay? And then, so yun po so I do hope maliwanag po sa atin itong work from home natin at saka yung different alternative work arrangement natin. Yan. So sa mga schools, so sana maliwanag na ito. So pwede nyo implement ito depending on the situation in your locality or places of work. Yan. Okay. So wag na natin itong what? Ito. Na. Submission to performance monitoring. So how are we going to monitor this, no? So submission of office school. So meron kasi inclusion number 2 and number 3 itong debit order na ito for the personnel not to accomplish. And then individual performance, targets, and expected output for each week shall be agreed by the personnel concerned. Prior to opening of the school year, wag naman muna natin yan kasi tapos naman na yan. Ito, submission of individual daily log and accomplishment report. Kailangan natin yan. Unit heads to certify the submission of electronic copies of the enclosures with their digital electronic signature. Work hours. Ito, no? So, kailangan pa rin nating i-execute yung 40 hours in a week or 5 days a week or depende pa rin yan sa arrangement ninyo. Basta 40 hours a week excluding time for lunch. Yun ang sinabi ko kanina dun sa first session natin. So basta 40 hours depending on yan. So kung gusto nyo, yung mga compress na 4 days lang yung ano nyo, siguro yung compress pwedeng i-combination din yan. 2 days kang nag-work from home, 2 days kang on-site. Pero 10 hours. Pero kailangan talagang ma-monitor at meron talagang output yung mga nag-work from home. Yan. So depende yan sa school or depende kung ano yung pag-uusapan ninyo with your staff. Okay, so attendance and monitoring, ito ngayon ang masaklap, no? The time in attendance of the log and out regardless of alternative work arrangement shall be monitored using the office school CLC work week plan. Meron tayong closure 2 and 3 dyan, no? Personal reporting for duty on-site or off-site shall check with their immediate supervisors through agreed mode of communication to record their actual time. O, tingnan nyo to, to record their actual time pa, no? So makita na naka-online ka na ba? We will going to have this kind of activity, something like that. No record of time lag and accomplishment shall mean that no work has been rendered, thus subjecting the personnel to absent. So please do not grab this opportunity, fellow teachers, fellow school heads, na this is the time for you to do the plantito, the plantita, to do the business online or whatsoever. So kapag online na nag-focus ka 3 o'clock, nag-post ka ng mine, my God, you will be marked absent for that matter. Di ba? Kasi sinasabi niyan, no? So dapat, so iwasan natin yung mga halimbawa, naka-work from home ka. Nandun ka naman sa Isabela State University. Anong ginagawa mo sa Isabela State University? Mayroon kasi nag-order sa'yo doon ng longganisa or tapa. Something like that. So please do not post those things. Sabi mo naka-work from home ka, ay naka-work from home ka. And yet, saan ka naman? Nandun ka naman dun sa hiking. Pero nagka-hike ako, pero Saturday at Sunday yun, ha? Yan, Saturday. So, yun. Please, iwasan po natin yun. So, personnel shall be available during agreed working hours. So, halimbawa yung pinag-agreehan nyo, Thursday ka, work from home ka. So, from 8 to 12, 1 to 5, something like that, you really have to be there by the time na yung school heads mo, by the time na yung unit heads natin or superintendent or whosoever, no, you really have to respond, no, those whatever things that you're going to require for you to submit. Using of black book, either skeleton work from home, physically reporting. Submission of Form 48 with the individual work week accomplishment report. Kailangan natin yan. Eto na. Overtime, meron din palang overtime services, no, with paid din during whatever na alternative work arrangement. The rendition of overtime services and the corresponding remuneration either through compensatory time off of overtime pay of personnel under the alternative work arrangement shall be in accordance with Civil Service Commission and Department of Budget and Management Joint Circular Number 2 Series 2015, Policies on Guidelines on Overtime Services and Overtime Pay for Government Employees. MDO 36, 2016, Policies and Guidelines on Overtime Services and Payment in the Department of Education. Okay. The leave of absence. The department shall adopt the provision under Civil Service MC number 8 Series 2020 or the interim guidelines on the use of leave credits for absences due to quarantine or treatment relative to coronavirus. For teachers, COVID-19 related leave and or absences, those that fall under excused absences pursuant to Civil Service MC number 8 Series 2020 shall be charged again their accumulated service. Pero merong bago ito, so yung number 2. No, so pwede nang something like that, na kapag ikaw ay na COVID-19, parang 14 days yata, no, na free. So it will not be charged against sa service credits. All right, so personnel who underwent treatment for COVID-19 shall submit application. Personnel under work from home may be still apply for leave of absences. O so halimbawa, naka-work from home ka pero mayroon ka palang pinuntahan, mag-leave ka pa rin, no? Yan. So pwede ka pa rin mag-leave. Division chiefs shall monitor the implementation of the use of leave credits, no? So take note yung mga leave credits natin, ha. So dapat meron tayong mga records sa mga schools. Kung ilan ang leave credits ng mga teachers natin. In case of duty work schedule of personnel under alternative work arrangement falls on a regular holiday, special no working holiday. Ito ginagawa naman natin ito, no? So teachers are not required to report for work on Saturday or Sunday, and learners shall work on assigned tasks for these days. However, if they required to render online services authorized by the SDS, they shall be granted service credits. Hazard pay, personnel who physically report for work during the period of implementation of ECQ and MSCQ pursuant to Administrative Order Number 26. Yan. Ito, hindi naman problema sa atin ito, no? Transportation arrangement. Okay, and then additional allowance to further conduct feasibility study pa lang yan. Okay, so yan. So this is about AWA. So do you have any question later, no? So just pause or just write doon sa ating tawag nito, box chat. Right. Topic number 3. So this is very I do hope, no, that you will be going to enjoy topic number 3. Ano ba yung topic number 3? So protocol and social grace. Yung mga pictures dyan na nakikita nyo, wala akong maisip na ilagay ng mga pictures dyan. These are my pictures doon sa Japan noon when I was still a scholar, no? So hindi so I do hope that you will be going to see me very payat pa yan. These are my payat days. Okay? So protocols and social graces. Meron tayong activity dito, Sige, so habang kayo ay very busy pa na nagkakape dyan, alright? So may I ask again a response or responses by writing your answer doon sa chat box natin. What were your expectations from a principal or from a teacher? Kung ikaw ay teacher, ano yung in-expect mo sa principal mo? Kung ikaw naman ay principal, ano naman ang in-expect mo sa yung teacher? Okay? Yan. So you may write your answer doon sa ating chat box. Okay, for 1 minute. Okay, siguro ang in-expect ko dyan nasa sagot naman ngayon ay yung mga nasa Malini Elementary School, yung mga nasa Sinili Elementary School, doon sa San Andres, doon yung mga doon sa Sinsayon Elementary, Jonathan, doon sa ano pa ba? Balintukatok. Yan, okay. So tingnan natin kung meron silang mga responses diyan. Imelda pala, yan. I want to provide a concrete evidence that I'm executing my teaching duties even if helpful from San Jose Integrated po. Yan. So from Melvin Cruz Dizon, gusto niya daw niya yung helpful. Yan. Okay, so thank you very much. Kay Brother Jules, I want to provide concrete evidence that I'm executing my teaching duties even if I'm home. Ayan. From Ma'am Brenda, I expect that my school head provides me appropriate guidance. Oh, very good, Brenda. From Randy Mina, law-abiding citizen naman yung in-expect niyang teacher. Okay? O wala pang nagsusulat na galing sa Kwan, Balintukatok, elementary or secondary or integrated. O yung mga teachers ng Kwan, ng Luna. Walang sagot yata yung mga teachers ng Luna. Ma'am Rose Lily, Ma'am SDS wants the responses of your teachers. Marjorie from, where is that? Abra. Oh, from Manolo Ocampo, model. Wow, very good. A model. Ano tayong model ito? So, model ng kahit anong model na yan. Okay, thank you, Sir Manolo. From Marjorie Pilon, I expect na daw yung mga teachers niya ay mga abiding, no? Abiding citizen as far as policy, rules, and laws. From, wala na. From Ma'am Ana Lu Bautista. So my expectation to my principal is determined and willing to keep guidance in promoting the welfare of both the teachers and students. Okay, so thank you. From Ma'am Elmerchita, I expect a teacher to be always proactive. From Audita, Miss Brenda is from Kabulay High School. Yan, ang ganda naman ng sagot ni Ma'am Audita. Ay, akala ko yun. From Ma'am Consuelo, supportive and understanding. From Maria Luisa Acebo, fair and just. So yan. So ang daming mga in-expect yung mga teachers natin ng mga. Next question is, if you were the school head or the teacher, how would you treat outstanding teacher or outstanding principal, or B, an emotionally disturbed teacher or emotionally disturbed school heads? Right? Please write your answer. Sige, write your answer. After 1 hour or 1 minute, no, we'll be going to look your answer. Sabi ni Ma'am Elmerchita, an outstanding teacher always does more than what is expected in performing his or her duties. From Ma'am Jess, parang hindi pa natin nasagot yung ano. No? So, sige, yung pangalawang tanong natin, no? Watching Sir from Rosario. Buti pa nanonood si Florence Ligaspi. We need your answer, Ma'am Florence Ligaspi. Thank you for watching us. Okay. From Marjorie, emotionally disturbed teachers should be guided properly. Thank you for the answer, Ma'am Marjorie. And from Joanna Lane Season, a principal that can motivate, educate, and empower others. Thank you. Ano man yung kay Hazy Alba, have empathy as a core competency of good leadership. Thank you for the response. Who else? From Ma'am Emerita, an outstanding teacher must be emotionally matured. Okay. From Sir Randy, outstanding teacher is going beyond the box. Ano kayong going beyond the box na yan? Outside the... outside. Thank you, Sir Randy, for the response. Inihintay ko yung sagot ni Juan, ni Sir Dahan. Walang bang sagot si Sir Alfredo Dahan dyan? Oh, si Sir, si Sir Lalas Johnny. Sir Johnny. Si Sir Sergio, I want your, yung gold na response nyo or diamond response from Ma'am Jessa, mentor and coach other teachers. From Sir Johnny, meron na si Sir Johnny. Thank you, Sir Johnny. An outstanding teacher does her best always, even if others may not. Wow. Ang ganda naman yun. Ano kaya yung ibig sabihin ng Sir Johnny? Yan. Thank you, Sir Johnny, ha? O, yan. From Ma'am Marivic, supportive and understanding school. Oh, meron ng nabuwan. Thank you. What about sa from Rizal Elementary or ano ba yung Rizal? East Center School. From Brother Jules, congratulations. Dapat Ma'am Abby, bigyan mo ng si Sir Jules. Bigyan mo ng, sige, ayan. From Sir Melvin Cruz, Chris, outstanding teachers, principals doing what she said. Yan. Show empathy from Ma'am Elmer Chita. Tricia Bahingawan, outstanding teacher must be good model. Thank you. Ada in El Salvador, agasawa ba ito? Principals need to figure out and lead their teams on pass through the relentless complexity of school. Thanks, Ma'am LC. Ruby Castro, an outstanding teacher as model to his colleagues. From Ma'am Maria Luisa Acebo, admire and happy for him. Ano kayo yun? Benny Gafood, there should be a good relationship both teachers and the principal. Tama? From Ma'am Ruby, emotionally disturbed teachers should be given support, inspiration, and motivation. Thank you. And from Ma'am Luisa, guidance and support. We should know how to treat on different kinds. Saan na yung binabasa ko? Personality. From Jessie, Ma'am Jessie, outstanding teacher is responsible, ready to help her teachers and giving her best and go and a good model. From Santa Rosa, an outstanding principal is the one who inspired her teacher to be an outstanding teacher. Thank you. Parang walang high school na sumasagot dito Wala bang, meron si Ma'am Kambod kanina. Wala ba yung nanggaling sa Nagasikan High School? Wala din bang Nagasikan Elementary? Yan. Buena Vista, maraming COVID ngayon sa inyo. Mag-ingat kayo dyan. Emotional disturbed teachers should given special consideration, inspiration. Tama. From Miss Karen and May Costales, an outstanding teacher must help and guide the new teachers. Oh, that's right. And from Ma'am PB Pobre Daleja, ito surang pinakamayaman na pobre, an outstanding principal empowers people. And from Margie Sudaria, anong mali ko dyan? Sabi ni Margie Sudaria, nakapag-send siya agad-agad, Yan, okay. So thank you for those responses, no? If you were the school head teacher, how would you treat, no? As we can see, no, so there are really things, no, or many things for us to consider, especially on how we're going to treat yung outstanding teacher at saka yung outstanding principal. Kasi there are times naman kasi yung mga teachers natin, yung school heads, yung treatment niya sa outstanding ay parang, ang tawag nito, yung na-insecure siya. Yan. So kaya hindi maganda yung samahan na ni outstanding teacher at ni outstanding principal. Mayroon ding time na yung outstanding teacher ay talagang fully developed pa rin siya ni principal. So kung ganun na yung environment natin, nakikita natin yung magandang samahan at saka yung growth ng teachers. Regarding naman sa emotional disturbed teacher, no, ang daming mga nagbigay ng mga comments dyan. So kailangan natin ang emotional support, kailangan yung guidance nila, at kailangan yung tinatawag nating special attention sa mga emotional disturbed teacher. Kapag emotional disturbed yung school heads, yun ang mahirap. By the time nilalapit ka sa kanya, wala nang magandang araw, wala nang magandang oras, wala nang maliwanag, no? Puro na lang makulimlim. So mag-isip na lang kayo. So ang iniisip na lang ni teacher, kumusta ang panahon pagpasok niya sa loob ng school o ng office? Kumusta ang panahon? Makulimlim bang panahon? So kung makulimlim yung panahon, hindi maganda ang panahon ni school heads. Yan, mayroon kaming isang naging boss noon sa amin. Hindi ko na sasabihin kung saan ako. Hindi niyo ba alam? Doon ako sa Nueva Vizcaya. Pagpasok ng isang teacher o ng isang school head sa isang opisina, tinatanong, kumusta? Kumusta ang panahon? Kasi kapag hindi maganda ang panahon, nung lumabas, yung susunod na papasok, makukuha niya yung the same na panahon. So yun, so wag na silang tutuloy. So mayroong mga cases na ganyan. So yun, mga emotional disturbed na mga school leaders or mga teacher na. So I do hope no wala dito sa SDO Santiago ang emotional disturbed na mga teachers at mga emotional disturbed na mga school heads. We are really practicing good rapport, camaraderie, and cohesiveness among our teachers, among our school heads, and among our stakeholders in the school. Yan. So the topic given to me is about yung protocol in social graces. So objectives of this session is to distinguish yourself, no? For us to maintain business relationships, for us to project a positive image, confidence and authority, and this will be the building of trust. Okay, yan. So, protocol and social graces. One of it is yung, in the company of your superior, stay behind. Don't try to outshine her, him. We are talking about here our bosses, no? We are talking about here our school leaders, or if you are teachers, no, about your students naman ito, no? So, do not outshine her, him. So, wag mong ipakita na mas magiling ka sa iyong leader o sa iyong superintendent. So, I'm not doing this to Madam Che. No? So, yan. Okay. Ganyan din sa atin, no? So, stay behind lang sila, no? So, yun po ang focus. Yung picture na nakukuha nyo yan, yung mga classmate ko yan, 2006 sa Japan. Hindi nyo makikita yung maitim dyan. Nakikita nyo ba yung maitim? That is Machanji, yung naka-green. Katabi ng taga-Iraq na si Dr. Salim. Itong nasa harap natin, ito ay taga-Indonesia, it's Swede. Yung nasa likod, kilala ko pa, that is from Vietnam, no? Hai Sang. And dito sa pinakamaliit from Malaysia, it's Luki. Kilala ko ba yung mga classmate ko? Yung nakikita nyo maitim, that is Machanji, from Kenya. Okay, another thing is wear simple clothes or office uniform. Public officials should be prudent and live a simple life. Live according to your means and positions. Ang dami, no? Ang dami tayong mga uniform na binibigyan ng Department of Education. We really have to do, spend yung 6,000 by March or April, no? Our uniform will, uniform ba? Uniform fee, sabihin na natin, clothing, I should say. Clothing will be arriving. Sabi niya dito, live according to your means and positions, no? Napaisip ako one time kasi may mga cases talaga dito na parang ang problema yata, no, dito sa kwan. Bakit mayroong ang daming mga sumusulat sa amin na mga bangko, something like that, or mga lending corporations or institutions na yung mga ganitong teachers and hindi naman sa pinapakailaman, ano? So, sabi na kasi dito sa protocol natin, we really have to live according to our means. We have to spend, no, with our means, not beyond our means. Okay? In other words, no, we really have to, kung ano lang mayroon tayo, yun lang ang ating sundin para maiwasan natin yung mga aftermath or yung mga hindi magandang effect nito sa atin. Yan. So, we really have to live simple. Kung ikaw naman talaga ay sadyang napakayaman, so okay lang na magsuot-suot ka, pero kapag ang kwan ng tawag nito, ang mga bulingling natin, mga borloloy natin dyan sa ating mga katawan ay galing naman yan sa mind, o joke lang. Galing naman dyan sa loan, something like that, no? Ay wag na tayo. No? So just live simply or just live, no, a simple life. Okay, so I do hope, no, that you will not be going to misunderstood me, my friends. Okay? So please, yun po. So para maiwasan, para hindi naman kayo maguluhan ni Ma'am Chin sa division office kasi ang dami naming sinusolve ng mga problema regarding that. No? Yan, oo. Para naman happy-happy lang tayo. No? Para wala na tayong mga bagay-bagay na ganyan. No? Yan. Okay, so iwasan natin na yung mga hindi makakatulong sa ating profession. Sabi natin sa first kanina, ano ba yung mga revealing secret natin for us to become happy in the performance of our teaching? Sabi nga natin, kapag nakikita natin yung mga learners natin, na they are having good life, happy na tayo. Kapag nakikita natin yung ating performance ay tumataas, happy na tayo. Kapag nakikita natin yung ating mga learners ay nasusundan nila yung itinuturo natin, happy na tayo. That was my first session yung while ago. Diba? Yun. Okay, so kung ang gusto mo ay yumaman ng yumaman, I think you have chosen the wrong profession because in the Department of Education, ang serbisyo, ang Department of Education is merely offering more services rather than wealth. Yan. So, kailangan natin yan. So, kung nagkamali tayo ng profession, pwede tayo pang umatras at maging entrepreneur. Yan. Okay. Another one is, don't talk more than your superior. Never say anything that office has not yet formally announced, like promotions, transfers, or vacancies. So, pag natin gagawin ito, baka meron lang kayong nadamag, meron promotions na ganito, nagbo-blow out na siya, tapos hindi pa na na-approvean yung kanyang documents. O di ba meron kanyan na nag-blow out na? Ma'am Abby, ikaw ba yun? Hindi. Yan, so it's still, our schools division superintendent, the right to announce as far as new items, as far as promotion of a certain individual, or vacancies, still our superintendent will have the authority to announce. Yan. So, wag nating pangunahan sila. Kung halimbawa natapos na yung assessment ng Master Teacher 2, inawitan ka lang ng kasama mo, congratulations, number 1 ka. Nag-blow out na siya, nagpakuha na siya. Alam niyo dito sa Santiago City, ang bilis very easy na ibaga mo lang blow out niya, agad-agad meron. Paano kung hindi pala ikaw nang na-appointan kasi mayroong discretionary power yung ating SDS for that matter. Meron silang wide latitude of discretionary power. So not necessary that you are number 1 or number 2 or number 3 kung ang kinuha yung is number 5. Kasi kami mga nasa PSB naman, we are recommending yung top 5 as per DepEd or as per ora-ora. No? Kinuha ni Ma'am SDS yung number 5. So wala tayong magagawa, something like that. Kasi si number 5, ano ba kasi ang reason kung bakit meron tayong tinatawag na wide latitude or discretionary power school superintendent or yung appointing authority? Kasi one of the reasons dyan is, how can I work kung yung number 1 is questionable naman ang kanyang performance, questionable naman ang kanyang character. I like number 5 kasi ang kanyang character is somewhat na very pleasant for me to work with or to work very well with him or with her. So yun ang mga reasons ng ating appointing authority. Yan, okay? So I do hope that we will not be going to talk more than hours. Just like sa opening program natin, you observe, kukonti yung mga pinagsasabi ko sa opening remarks. Kasi opening remarks lang ako Yan. And then the rest of the one, mas mahaba na yung sa ating SDS. Okay, so ganun po yung gawin po natin Hindi porke mas marami kang nalalaman na sinasabi, ikaw na yung mas maraming sinasabi rin. Kukunti na yung superior mo. Ganon din sa case ng principal at ng teacher. So yun. So, maliban na lang na kapag ikaw ay inutusan o pinagsabihan ng teacher o ng school head o ikaw na lahat ng magsabi niyan, okay lang yun kapag mayroon mga ganyan mga information. Okay? So I do hope wala tayong sa bagay, wala pa namang may na-observahan dito sa Santiago City. Lahat ngayon takot sa mic o joke lang. Kasi walang mga nag-aral dito ng aim. Ano ba yung aim? Ayaw iwanan ang mic. Saan ba yung aim? Ang aim is very high ang kanyang tuition fee. Yung Asian Institute Management. Ang isang session o ang isang araw lang na session doon o isang araw na pag-attend mo ng seminars around 26,000. Isang araw lang yon. Okay. In meetings and conferences, don't talk longer than your super. Parang mas mahaba naman yung pagsalita ko ngayon, ma'am. Okay lang na. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So in meetings and conference, don't talk longer than your superior. Protocol pa rin yan, mga social graces natin, So I do hope that you will not be going to take it negatively. Okay? In addition to that, kung kunang tulakay din na nagsaon ni Madam SDS o ni Principal mo, in addition to our school heads have said, kung kunang to never add anything to what she had already discussed. Okay, take note of that, mga kaibigan, Okay, ano pa ang mga kailangan natin dito as far as social graces and protocol is concerned? Don't speak after your superior or guest speaker had already spoken. The most important person has the last say. Just like sa mga programs natin, anyway, na-observe naman natin dito sa SDS Santiago, once na nagsalita na yung very important person in a certain program, huwag na kayong na lowest and rank na magsasalita pa. Maliban na lang kapag closure o closing remarks ang kanyang sasabihin. Yan, halimbawa, guys, speaker siya, susunod na agad yung closing or whatsoever. Huwag ka na maglalagay ng kwan. Sa mga programs natin, especially, no, ang dami tayong observation. Natapos na yung guest speaker, magsasalita pa si Kapitan, sa open meet ni Uncle ko, something like that. So, na supposed to be, hindi na dapat mangyari. Kasi, once na nagsalita na yung highest person or yung very important person in a certain occasion, we really have now to, huwag nang susundan pa ng ibang magsasalita. Mga protocol pa natin yan, no? Simple mga, pero kailangan nating maayos. One time na I was a guest, no? Natapos na nagsalita yung guest speaker, tinawag ako ng, hindi na ako nagsalita as is, no? Kasi tapos na yung very important person. So, I do hope that this will be internalized. Parang na-observean ko naman dito sa, yan, ito pa, don't introduce your superior to a subordinate, rather introduce a subordinate to your superior. Very clear naman yan. Okay? Ito ang harapan ng Osaka University sa Japan na kung saan ako ay nag-aral. So, pasensya na kung medyo sinasabi-sabi ko. But I am telling this, I'm telling this to encourage everyone to go on for professional growth. My friend, no? Yan. Don't interrupt your superior or any person. Wait for your turn. Be polite. So, when she or he is talking, do not just talk and talk na hindi ka binibigyan ng pagkakataon. Yan, nagsasalita ka na. So, just wait for your turn to be called. Anyway, during our meetings naman, no, so we are practicing this. So I do hope, no, parang reminders na lang sa atin ito. Sa schools natin, kapag meron tayong mga school heads o mga activities, please try to be polite, no? We have to wait our turn, or if given the chance, we will be going to air whatever things that we want to. Don't butt in when your superior is talking to another person. Learn to wait and be patient. Ito yung picture na nakikita nyo, that is the sakura. Ano bang sakura? Chrysanthemum? A cherry blossom. Nakalimutan ko na. Tama, cherry blossom. Yan. Okay, so thank you, Sir Marfil. O yan, very payat days. Alam nyo ba sa Japan, no, nagkalat lang yung mga ugsa. Ano bang ugsa sa Tagalog? Ano bang ugsa? Beer, yan. Nagkalat lang sila. Mayroong isang part na nagkalat lang yung mga ugsa, no? They are not really harmed by people. Yan. Okay, don't make joke with your superior. Show respect, no? Yan. So, mayroong mga instances na may mga kasi may times kasi na hindi welcome yung joke natin, kawawa tayong mga pag-joke sa mga officials natin. So, in other words, na is not also pleasant, no? If you're going to joke with your superior. Okay? And then, in a meeting, a distinguished visitor, don't overtake your superior. Stay behind. Be modest. O, yan. Halimbawa, nagpasamano ka, nilumbammot ni boss mo nung nakipagpasamano yung visitor. So, please do not overtake your superior. Stay behind and be modest. And then after which, ikaw na yung mas maraming kwentuhan sa bisita, parang na it's-superior na yung boss. Okay, so please do not do that, ha? Just let our boss, just let our authority, no, to do such thing. If you are being told to do so, to have the necessary conversation with the visitor, that is only the time for us to do the action. Okay? In a picture taking, very happy naman, very cool naman ito. Don't grab a seat not intended for you, be humble. Meron bang kanyan, Ma'am Abby, na ginawa mo na? Di ba wala pa? Parati ka nga sa likod lang, o joke lang. Okay, so, tama, no? So, don't grab a seat not intended for you, be humble. So, wala naman na yatang ganyan dito sa atin. So, anyway, just reminder lang sa atin kung hindi natin ginagawa. Okay? When printing your name in your superior, see to it that your name is not bigger or more conspicuous than your superiors. Be prudent. Kanina, no? Yung ito, pinansin ko ito kay Kwan, bakit mas maliwanag yung mukha ko kumpara kay Ma'am SDS? Sabi ko kay Kwan, kasi that's protocol pa rin yan, mga kaibigan, no? So, dapat mas ano pa rin yung picture ng ating SDS. Kasi na-outshine siya. Yan. So, pwedeng paliitin mo na lang i-edit mo yung akin, Sir Marfil. Yan. Ganun yan. Then, ganun din yung sabi ko kay Kwan, kapag gawa ka ng collab, something like that, huwag yung mukha ng school head kung meron pa yung mas superior. I-highlight pa yun natin yung superior natin. Ganun po yun, social graces. Baka sabihin nyo, puro naman sa kanila yung pinagsasabi ni Sir Jonathan. Hindi. Mapipil nyo ito when you will become a school head or when you will become in the position that we are having now. Yan, okay? So be prudent, no? Or yan, ganyan din sa mga sa mga magazine, ganyan din sa mga printing materials, etc., etc. Mas ano pa rin siya, highlighted pa rin yung mga superiors natin. Okay? So yun. And then in the formal gatherings, always address your superior ahead of her subordinates. Protect her name so she will also do the same to you. Alam naman na natin yung protocol, no? Sa pag-address. Halimbawa, isang program, DepEd at saka LGU. Sino yung unang i-greet natin? Sir Marfield, di ba ang kwan? Ang sabi ng protocol, no, we'll be going to greet yung mga outside DepEd. Kung program ng DepEd, unahin natin muna na yung mga officials outside DepEd. So kung merong congressman, kung merong government, governor, kung merong mayor, unahin natin sila. And then, go ka sa DepEd. Okay? So that is our protocol for that. And then always talk good things about your superior. Don't gossip, be professional. Oh, kasi boss mo siya, kasama mo parati, parang ikaw yung backfighter na kapag maganda yung harapan ninyo, harapan nyo, ang ganda-ganda ng usapan, and after which pala nakalikod ka na, iba na, ginugusip mo, ay, ang bungay ni Castin. So that should not be. Be professional, my friends. Okay? Another is, yan, ang payat ko pa niyan, that was 2006. Learn to accept suggestions from your superior and even corrections at mistakes committed. That is the best way to learn. Tama yun, no? So that is humility. When somebody telling you that way, telling you that to do this thing, my friends, so that is one way of giving you some learnings. Because as far as experiences, no, kailangan natin din yung mga corrections. Kasi once you will be corrected, no, that is showing that they have the concern, that they love you, and most of all, no, they wanted you to become to be checked, no, with the errors that you have done. Okay? So try to accept yung mga suggestions natin. So wag na kayong kumontra kapag nagbibigay sila ng suggestions. Yan, para wala nang marami. And lastly, this is my last slide, 138 pala, diba? Ano bang sabi ko kanina? Hindi pala. Yan. Manners are more important than laws. Upon them, in a great measure, the laws depend. That is about from Edmund Burke. Okay? So those are the different protocols that I have shared to you, and I do believe that you have still more protocols that you know. And so please try to internalize all these things so that we have a happy working relationship. And I'm looking forward for the internalization of this thing, or for keeping these things into your heart, into your dealings with others, into your dealings with your subordinates, dealings with your colleagues, and dealings with God Almighty. To all of you, my friends, thank you for listening. The time is 4:16. Yeah. So if you have questions, you may now write your questions on the chat box. Yan. Wala yata. Sige, facilitate na, Sir Murphy.
Thank you, Sir Jonathan, for the important reminders on the basics of our duties and responsibilities. Your sharing, sir, refreshes our commitment and renews our dedication in upholding that teaching is the noblest profession. Thank you very much, Sir Jo. At this juncture, if you have your questions po, pwede na pong i-type dyan sa comment section. From Ma'am Marisa, an outstanding principal understands, inspires, and directs. Thank you, Sir Jonathan, for that inspiring talk.
Sir Johnny, nag-comment
Thank you
na
po, dear Sir ASDS. Thank you, Sir Jonathan. More power and God bless you. So, thank you very much, Sir Jo. 10 seconds. May mga magsusulat po ng kanilang reflections. Thank you so much, sir. We respect so much our dear school head, Ma'am Elsie Grace Batara of Sinsayo National High School. Thank you, Sir Jonathan, for a very comprehensive explanation on the different policies. Well, clear daw, sir. Clear. Thank you po, sir. God bless. Okay. Again, thank you very much po, Sir Joe. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our Senior Education Program Specialist in the HRD to share some important reminders for tomorrow's continuation of our 2021 Division in Service Training. Ma'am Abby?
Again, great afternoon to everyone. Reminder for tomorrow's activity. March 16 is on the second day. Our MOL of learning will take for 30 minutes. Under MOL, we have the nationalistic song, prayer, energizer, and insight sharing. For the charge, scheduled for the MOL as agreed a while ago this morning. On the second day, March 16, North Cluster Schools will be in charge under Sir Pasqua. March 17, third day, East Cluster Schools. Fourth day, West Cluster School under Ma'am Sen Daloran. For the fifth day, that will be on March 19, South Cluster Schools, Ma'am Gigi Gutierrez. We will end our training on the 15th, so it's understood that South Cluster Schools will be in charge for the closing program. Thank you very much po. And another reminder, the assigned cluster schools for the day will also assign an MC for the full activity, for the activities of the day.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Abby. Just a reminder po, before we end our PM session, I will be posting sa comment section the link for our PM attendance. But before that, allow us to give the awards, special awards for this day. Wait lang po, isi-share lang po namin. Of course, with the presence of our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Jonathan A. Fronda, our SDS, Ma'am Cherry S. Ramos. Yan, mag-award po tayo. Allow me to share my screen po. The first award, Schools Divisional Office of Santiago City, congratulations, Cheryl May de Guzman of Rizal National High School, Early Bird Award, Teacher Category. Next po. Congratulations, Ma'am Emerita Mawirat, School Head of Rosario National High School, Early Bird Award, School Head Category. Next award po. Congratulations, Santiago South Central School, Most Organized School during online in-service training. Picture taking po. Next award. Congratulations, Mr. Julius Romero of Santiago City National High School, most active participant, teacher category. Si Brother Jules. Next award. Congratulations, Ma'am Elmarchita B. Ribuca, Schoolhead, Sagana National High School, most active participant, Schoolhead category. And I think this will be the last. I know, not yet. Congratulations, Calaucan Elementary School, most active social media account. Although meron pong mga social media account yung mga schools na nag-post po, hindi po nila tinag ang SDO Santiago, only Calaucan Elementary School po ang nagtag sa SDO Santiago City. Congratulations, Calaucan Elementary School. And last award, according to our ITO, congratulations, Ma'am Nelisa Kasamplong, Teacher 1, Calaucan Elementary School, most accommodating ICT coordinator na nag-facilitate daw po even Saturday and Sunday ng mga opo. Kahit gabi at madaling araw po nagpa-facilitate daw ng mga accounts for teams. Congratulations po for our awardees. And of course, we would like to congratulate SDO Santiago City, top 1 in the national level, the most number of Google Certified Educators level 1 in the whole country po yun. Congratulations po. Of course, with our very active and intelligent ITO officer, Sir Rica Bugao, and the team. Okay. Hopefully na-picturean po natin yung mga award po. Yan. Ma'am Abby? I'm going to share po the link of our attendance. Nakita niyo po dyan sa comment section. This is for the day 1 p.m. session. Sir Julius, thank you po, Madam and Sir, naiiyak po. Congratulations po to everyone. Expect po for more awards for the coming days ng ating. This is really an exciting day kasi iba-iba po yung mga award. Ayan. So, be very active po. Mag-participate lang po tayo sa mga sessions and do our part and do our best. Especially kahit naka-work from home po tayo, we are actively participating in our 2021 Division in Service Training Program. Naka-save na po, ay nasend na po yung link ng ating pong attendance. Kindly share po sa mga personnel po na nakatutok po sa atin ngayon sa YouTube. Again, we would like to extend our thanks sa ating mga naging speakers. Beginning this morning session, our Regional Director, Dr. Benjamin D. Paragas, our ARD, Dr. Jessie L. Amin, our very own Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Cherry Salarzon Ramos, of course, for the PM session, Sir Ronnie Giloy, and of course, the last but not the least, our very own ASDS, Sir Jonathan A. Fronda. Maraming salamat po mga ma'ams and sirs for making this day a very fruitful one for each and every one of us. Good day po, and again, see you tomorrow at exactly 8 o'clock in the morning, and we hope that the in-charge will be early po so that we can start earlier. Again, thank you po, and God bless everyone. Stay safe.